get started. Does anyone want to get out?
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
What's up, boss? You believe that? Hold on. Oh, no. Do you believe in that? Huh? Oh, no. Ah! Oh, no. Come on. Do you believe?
Because remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
All right, good people. This is your AMA. It's funny, man. During the regular week, man, I get a barrage of questions that are off topic. When I have an AMA, they don't show up. So I don't know what that is. Y'all explain it to me. Anyway, Adric is up. Number one. Ahmed, Mel, Tao, Jesse, VHS. I hope he doesn't have to show up. Here we go. Okay. Juana Paquinda. Here we go. Okay. Daz, what's going on? Willie R. Clark, what's going on? Horowitz, what's going on? Paul, time for me to enter the pedestrian lane. And Instant Media, what's going on? All right, you guys. You guys got questions? Go ahead and shoot. If not, I do have something teed up. Roasting weenies. Okay. If not, I have something teed up on C-SPAN. If you guys don't have questions. Got a rep talking about DHS and Iran because he's actually on the Armed Forces Committee. So if you guys don't have any questions, we'll tee this one up until you guys can actually get something rolling. If you guys really don't have anything, man, then I'll do an hour and then we'll bounce. This is C-SPAN, which is on YouTube now. It wasn't on YouTube; it's on YouTube. And if you really want to get into domestic policy, okay, if you're not subscribed to C-SPAN, then I can't take you seriously. Everybody, just anybody that thinks that they're any kind of political commentator in the United States, if you're not subscribed to C-SPAN, I can't take you seriously. Okay. This is to be a pundit in the political space. C-SPAN is the bare minimum. C-SPAN is actually absolute bare minimum because you actually hear the policymakers talk instead of hearing the pundits talk. But if you guys ain't got nothing, we'll do this and then we'll continue. Who is this? This is Representative Adam Smith. I don't know where he's a rep from, but he's on the Armed Services Committee and he's talking about DHS and Iran.
This morning is Congressman Adam Smith, top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee, here to talk with us about our two top topics this morning, Iran and DHS funding. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
Let's start with DHS funding. What is the current status of talks to end the impasse over DHS funding?
I think there's progress being made. I mean, there's different layers to this, but from the very beginning, Democrats wanted to fund TSA and other things. That has been on the table. The question is what to do about ICE and Border Patrol.
Yeah.
That's been our concern. And that concern arose certainly out of Minneapolis, but about the broader campaign that ICE has been conducting, where they're doing warrantless searches, where they are assaulting people using incredibly aggressive tactics, not paying attention to things like probable cause and due process, American citizens being detained for weeks at a time without any due process. And we wanted that addressed. So there was an effort to fund that and debate this. Republicans rejected that. And now we're going back and forth, even as Republicans are starting to make some minor changes in immigration enforcement. But look, all of that is interesting. We need to fund TSA. All right. And however we get there, that has to happen in the next 24 hours. There's all kinds of different battles that go into that. But we're seeing the crisis at the airport, the crisis affecting the lives of the TSA agents. So I am optimistic that we will get a resolution to this because we have to.
Let's say that.
In other words, there's enough public pressure on Congress to actually get this shit done. Okay. And everybody that gets stuck at the airport should look up your rep and tweet him or email him immediately. Okay. Put pressure on him. I guarantee you will see your rep or your senator on C-SPAN, whether on question and answers recorded for or hearing. That's true. Bare minimum. If you actually want to see what they're talking about, okay? Because I don't have time to do it anymore. Because I was a C-SPAN junkie going from 2005, not 2005, from 85 to like 2000, I would say 15. I was actually a C-SPAN junkie. I don't have time to follow it anymore like I used to, but I used to follow them faithfully for about a good, for a good 30 years.
Not enough movement is made on some of the demands to reform ICE that Democrats have said that they want to see. Would you support a deal to reopen DHS, even if it doesn't fully change or fully commit to those changes that you want to see for ICE?
Yeah, I mean, it's the nature of compromise. And look, the issue had to be pushed. And we have seen the American public agree with us on the changes that need to be made to immigration. We've seen some minor little changes in terms of at least the rhetoric coming out of the White House, nowhere near where it needs to be. But look, you always have to contemplate the cost of a strategy. And at this point, if we're not funding all these different agencies, that's a huge problem. Yes, we pushed it. And the fact that the Republicans have decided that they'd rather see TSA agents not paid than actually address the problems with immigration enforcement, past a certain point, we have to make the decision as to whether or not the strategy that we're putting.
Yeah, they do have past a certain point. They have to make sure that the strategy is working or not working. The thing is that, and what they need to do, which I know they won't do, is you have all these avenues to reach out to your people. If you have problems if the Republicans are causing a problem and there's a backlog and it's an impasse, okay, and people are upset about it, you have an easy link to your to reach your folks, okay? Whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Rumble, Instagram, you have TikTok, okay? He can actually have a TikTok and just go for like a minute and say what the problem is, okay? And get people riled up and actually get shit done. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that, because they'd rather keep you in the dark. So they do these things behind closed doors.
Employee is going to continue to push them in that direction. So I think there's some small victories here, not anywhere that we need to be, but the impact right now that it's having, we can't allow that to continue. Somebody has to care about how the government functions.
So you could live with a deal on the table right now from senators like Katie Britt and others that say we're going to fund all of DHS. We are not going to fund bipartisanly ICE, but fund that through reconciliation and not implement some of these reforms.
It's already been funded through reconciliation.
Right.
I would like to see
but not implementing some of those reforms that you guys
the answer to your question
about.
at this point is no. Fine with that is exactly the wrong way to put it, given the bad set of choices that are in front of us. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand about politics. We've all, I guess, been raised to say, no, you have to have what you want. And if you don't get what you want, you may as well blow the whole place up. I'm not one of those people. I would not be fine with that. I'd be deeply upset that the Republican Party has decided not to rein in ICE and protect the rights of the American people, but I don't believe in shooting hostages.
So in terms of reforms to ICE and DHS, your position is that although you wouldn't like to see it, there's not anything that's necessary for you to see in the next 24 hours.
I'm sorry, you keep trying to I'm saying it. Okay, and people can take it as I'm saying it. Don't rephrase it. Basically,
I'm not trying to rephrase it. I'm just trying to get to the.
I said
to the meat of it.
I want the changes in immigration. I think it was perfectly appropriate that we push that issue. At this point, it doesn't look like we're going to get the changes that we want. We need to keep pushing for those changes, and by whatever avenue we can. But at this point, the cost of continuing to have this government not funded is too high. So no, I'm not fine with it. No, I don't see it as unnecessary. I just understand the votes, and I understand where we're at and the impact this is having. So I still hope in the next 24 hours that there will be at least some changes to immigration enforcement. But to simply say we're not going to fund anything if we don't get them is not where I'm at.
Let me ask you about the newly confirmed DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, who obviously came from the Hill, replaced Kristi Noem. Do you expect any changes? I know you mentioned kind of rhetorical shifts, including perhaps his use of judicial warrants that he said that he mentioned in his confirmation hearings. Do you believe with him now in place instead of Kristi Noem that there could be any changes that perhaps aren't written in some of this agreement, but could come from his
I don't really have that expectation. It could happen. I mean, Mark Wayne has said that, he wants to see warrants for these searches. It could happen, but with the Trump administration, I don't have expectations. I think we are going to have to keep the pressure up. And that's another thing. I want the focus to be on immigration enforcement and the need to change it. If the focus now is very much on the long lines at the airport, as well it should be, and on the TSA agents not being paid.
That has to be reconciled, and they have to make a compromise, or you still have to fund the government, which he's 100% right. Okay, 100% right. He's 100% right. Got to make a deal. You got to make a deal to actually make sure the government actually operates. At 38 days of this crap is not the business, and nobody will get elected if this continues.
Is undermining our ability to make the changes that need to be made in immigration. It's not accomplishing our goal. And our goal is to make those changes in how we do immigration enforcement in this country. So if that's not accomplishing the goal, it's not so much a matter of shooting hostages. Sorry, it's the wrong way to put it. It's a matter of how we're going to get there. How are we going to make those changes? Is the continued pressure point around funding for the broader DHS going to get us there? It doesn't seem to be. So we need to come up with other plans to try to push that. But no, I don't have much in the way of expectations that the Trump administration is going to suddenly become reasonable in terms of how they pay attention to the Constitution and the rights of the American people.
Quick question before we turn to Iran, but have you told House leadership, Democratic leadership, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, that it's time to move on if within the next 24 hours this isn't resolved?
I've been talking with, I don't talk with Chuck Schumer, he's not my leader, but I've spoken with Hakeem Jeffries, and I've said, yeah, no, we need to figure out some way to get this funded. And look, if they can get something in the near term that gives at least some changes, sure. But as I've said over and over and over again at this point, yes, it is not acceptable for TSA agents to not be paid and for the disruptions that's being caused to air travel for all Americans.
And I want to invite our viewers to join in on this conversation with the congressman. Democrats, your line is 202-748-8000. Republicans, your line, 202-748-8001. Independents, your line is 202-748-8002. Okay, Congressman, turning to Iran. You all were briefed yesterday on the House Armed Services Committee. There were a lot of tweets, a lot of concern from lawmakers leaving that briefing. Can you tell us what you learned in there?
Well, I learned that there is no plan to accomplish what they say their objectives are. And for all those tweets from my Republican colleagues, they could go ahead and vote for the War Powers Resolution and stop this war if they feel
like
that's
Nancy that she would not be supportive.
In other words, they could stop it if they wanted to. Yeah, that's a big thing. Congress could stop him from doing this if they wanted to. They agree with this shit.
Boots on the ground.
Right. I'm glad that they want to get attention by talking about how concerned they are, but we need to turn those concerns into actual action, because the concern is the plan of forcing Iran to stop its progress on a nuclear weapon, to stop building ballistic missiles, and to stop supporting terrorist organizations in the region. We are no closer to achieving that objective today than we were 3.5 weeks ago when this war started.
Right.
And the concern is, as we brought the administration officials in to say, okay, how are you going to get there? They didn't give answers. They didn't tell us how they were going to make progress on the objectives of this war, or what they were going to do if they didn't make progress. There was a lack of specifics as to what the war plan.
I will go over this, especially during in my Patreon Behind the Wall. Okay. I'll say briefly, okay, and I'll play the video in a minute. Trump and Netanyahu really thought they had an insider inside Iran they could actually work with, and that's why they did it. They thought they could do the same thing to Iran that they did to Venezuela, and that's why they took their gamble, and it didn't work, and now they're stuck. Any thoughts about U.S. military from Baghdad? It's called, well, they are. Let me ask you this, man. You're a smart guy, okay? If you got Shahed drones and missiles raining on your head at the base, are you going to stay there? Does it make sense to stay there if you're if you got missiles and drones hitting your base? It should be common sense. It should be common sense. Are you going to stay there? No, it's not due to that. The insurgents have been there. The thing is, you're getting hit by ballistic missiles and drones. That's why you got to leave. The insurgents are just taking advantage of the situation. I'd run like a bitch. Why they going? They're not going because of fucking insurgents. If that was the case, the insurgents would have done this 10 years ago. Why now? It's because they're getting hit. Most of the bases that are in that theater are being abandoned is because they're getting hit. It's real simple.
It is.
Y'all got you guys have to start following this stuff, okay? You know, because you guys ask me questions that's out there. You got to start following this stuff.
I'm going to take a look at some polling that we've seen over the last few days. This is from AP, an ORC poll on the that was released yesterday. It says for U.S. military action against Iran, has it gone too far? 59% of adults agree with it, that it's gone too far. Democrats, that's up to 90%. Independents, that's up to 63%. Republicans, that's 26%. So if nearly 60% of Americans feel that military action against Iran has gone too far, 62% in a separate poll say that they're strongly opposed to U.S. military troops on the ground. With numbers like that, can any escalation of in this conflict be sustained?
Yeah, those separate questions. I mean, first of all, the war was unpopular when the president started it.
Yes.
So I guess then this is going to be missing.
Yeah. Nobody wanted it. Rank and file, nobody wanted this war. Okay. And my opinion, he took a gamble. That's why he said it's going to be over in 2 or 3 days. That's like when they went for decapitation. Okay. They're supposed to put in a play. And he actually mentioned this. I'm trying to find the audio where he said it. He actually thought he had a person inside, just like Rodriguez in Venezuela. That's what he thought.
Interpreted, but the logical answer to your question is sure. If President Trump decides to keep going, polling numbers don't change that, even if they should. So sure, the president could just keep going with the war without any question, despite where the American people are at. Again, remember, it had like 25, 30% support when he started it. He very clearly doesn't care about public opinion on this. And that's a huge problem as we go forward. He could, he shouldn't. And I think that's the more important point. The war should stop now because the cost is simply far higher than any possible benefit that could be achieved.
The president said last night that he doesn't want to call it a war, or that people do not want him to call it a war. I assume he means DOD and other folks in the White House, because it would get him in trouble when it comes to congressional authority. Do you believe that this war is legitimate since he didn't go to Congress?
Yeah, I'm not much into semantics at this point. The problem is that we have started a war. We have lost 13 service members. You can call it a war. You can call it whatever you want to call it. 13 service members are dead. Over 1,000 civilians are dead. There's been massive global disruption of the economy. Gas prices are through the ceiling. Inflation is going up as a result. And Iran does not seem to be backing down. So I think it was a mistake to think that the military can solve the problems that we have with Iran. And we should stop that.
From the briefing that you guys got yesterday, has it raised any expectation from you that the U.S. could eventually deploy ground forces in either an invasion, let's say to keep open the Strait of Hormuz, or to take Kharg Island?
Yeah, you see, that is the sort of point that we're at right now. Not achieving the objectives. All right, the bombing campaign continues. So Trump faces a choice. Does he escalate to try to get to those objectives, or does he accept the fact that they're not achievable? I think there is considerable risk of escalation, and there's two main ways that he can escalate. One, put troops on the ground somewhere, whether it's taking Kharg Island, somewhere else. Two is to begin more aggressively targeting Iranian infrastructure. And then you are attacking the Iranian people as much as you're attacking the Iranian regime, and you're simply driving up the cost of this conflict. But that is the choice that the president faces, except that it was not a good idea to have tried to achieve.
I'm getting tired of these punk ass congressmen, man, not stepping in and solving this shit. Okay, I'm getting really sick of this. Motherfuckers, you guys have the power to stop this shit, and you guys won't step in and stop this shit. And whine about what he's doing. He's not a goddamn king, okay? And you guys know he's not a king. But the thing is, either admit that you agree with his general direction, or stop it. I'm getting sick of them.
The objectives through the military in the first place, and set more modest goals and stop the war, or escalate and try to up the ante and figure out how to achieve what I don't think he'd be able to achieve even if he did escalate. But there is considerable risk that Trump will not agree with me. He'll say, nope, we're going to double down and go forward.
So does there need to be another war powers? But I mean, I know you mentioned it earlier when we were talking about whether, folks leaving that briefing and being concerned yesterday, should there be another war powers vote? And how do you convince Republicans who, say no more, who say no boots on the ground, but haven't gone any further than that?
It's very hard because Republicans basically do what Trump tells them to do, even as they may express concerns when it comes to voting, comes to actually impacting his policy. Gosh, I'd have to sift through the examples now, but very, very rarely have they voted against what President Trump wants. But I think we simply have to try. And the same back with the immigration issue. We didn't want to fund ICE. Now, I do want to be clear. We wanted to fund TSA. Republicans just wouldn't let us fund that portion of it unless we funded ICE. So we wanted to fight that battle. We want this war to stop, and we want to make that case. But we need a majority, which means we need votes from Republicans. And as much as Republicans express concerns, they express concerns about the 2 people being killed in Minneapolis. They didn't change their position. And I've not yet seen them changing their position on the war in Iran. But we have to keep making the case, because on both of those issues, I mean, the policy issues.
They talked about War Powers Act when again to go and boots on the ground in Venezuela. Okay. And Trump backed down. Trump backed down as far as Venezuela, as far as boots on the ground. At some point, y'all going to have to start governing. Okay. At some point.
Are really important. The war is having a devastating cost. The immigration enforcement is having a devastating impact on the rights of the American people. We have to keep making that case, even if the Republicans don't see that and vote with us.
Do you expect another war powers vote to happen soon?
Yes.
When?
Well, soon. That's tough because we're not in session for 2 weeks. I expect to see one when we come back. Yes.
Just quickly, because you said you're not in session. If a resolution on DHS,
we should stay in session. There's no way. There's no way on earth we should go out of session without having funded TSA and other things. You know, if that takes us to the weekend, whatever. We should not leave until that is resolved.
Do you feel like leadership is all on the same page with that?
I frankly haven't had that specific conversation, but I would think the answer to that question would be yes. I just don't know for sure.
Okay, back to Iran. Let's talk about funding, because obviously the war powers votes, the multiple of them have failed on both the House and the House and the Senate side. What is your view on this reported number of $200 billion for an Iran war supplement? That's in addition to the president's proposed $1.5 trillion.
I want to hear this one. I want to hear this shit.
For the Pentagon for the next fiscal year. The Pentagon budget, of course, is already $916 billion.
Several things about that. One, it points up the cost of this war. We're $39 trillion in debt now, and we're going into a war which isn't going to actually, reach the objectives that we wanted to, driving up the cost. So I think it points up how expensive the war is. Second, the budget issue is just absurd. If Republicans believe that this is absolutely necessary and we have to spend the $200 billion and we have to spend the $1.5 trillion to meet our national security needs, I don't agree. I don't think that we need to spend that much money on defense in order to meet the needs of our country. And I think it undercuts the ability to fund other things that are also important. But if you do feel that way, then raise taxes and pay for it. I mean, it's just insane to me that the Republicans passed a $4 trillion tax cut, primarily going to people. Tax cuts primarily go to people making money, because if you make money, that's when you're paying taxes. So it's primarily going to people who are already doing well financially. So they want that. And then they want all these wars and all this defense budget, which they're not prepared to pay for. So if you're going to put a $200 billion supplemental on the table, it better be paid for. It better come with a tax increase. I'm not going to support a supplemental that simply takes it out of simply adds to the debt and takes it out of Medicaid and food stamps and education and every other program.
One quick question before we turn to some phone calls. You are obviously the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. It does a lot more than just talk about what we're discussing right now. What should that committee be focused on that it isn't happening under perhaps this Republican majority?
Well, look, I don't really. I think the Republican majority and the chairman of the committee, Mike Wright, they're focused on what they should be focused on. We did massive acquisition reform in last year's NDAA, which is an effort to get the Pentagon to innovate at scale faster and spend money more efficiently. This year, we're focused on defense industrial base issues. How do we build the munitions that we need? How do we upgrade the ability to build all of the equipment we need faster, more efficiently? But a couple of years before that, we did a focus on quality of life. How do we pay service members and their families what they need in order to be able to, want to stay in the military? So I don't think that focus is wrong. The focus that's wrong is on the idea that war is the answer to so many of our problems, whether it's in Venezuela, whether it's in Cuba, whether it's threatening Greenland and Panama, whether it's a war in Iran, whether it's saying that we have to be prepared to go to war with China. I think we rely too much on the military to meet our foreign policy and diplomatic objectives. That's what I don't agree with in terms of the focus of how to make the Pentagon more efficient and more effective. I think Chairman Rogers and Chairman Wicker in the Senate, I think we are working on the right priorities in that regard.
All right, let's just.
All right. If you're not watching C-SPAN, I don't want to hear shit about you being in domestic politics. Okay, I really don't. Okay, and C-SPAN is free. There's no reason to not follow it. Niggas don't read already. I know niggas don't read, so I'm not even trying to get you to read. But thing is, if you're in domestic politics, okay, boots on the ground, whether it's DHS, whether it's ICE, whether it's TSA, whether it's spending, housing, whatever it is, if you're not fucking following C-SPAN and hearing what your representatives are saying, I don't want to hear shit. Okay, get tired of these motherfuckers. How about their political pundits and experts and stuff like that? How about some little motherfucker running for office in Podok, Idaho, that we never heard of? That's supposed to be the answer to all our goddamn problems. You're not legitimate.
Oh boy, what's going on, BGF?
May just got off Jason Black. I'm sure she will be over shortly. Okay. Why was she on? Why was May on Jason Black? Okay. Was she actually having a conversation? Or she was just over there chatting. Anyway, what's up, AB?
It's not one thing; it's another.
Okay.
Yeah.
You notice the random questions I get on a regular broadcast. I just all the ones I got earlier today, and
Yeah.
these motherfuckers ain't over here today now. Okay. You notice that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got some questions, but I kind of want to wait till behind the wall for that.
Okay. All right. Well, it's up to
yeah.
you. It's up to you. So I'm quite amazed how Appalachian right-wing dweebs in Georgia still claiming that CNN and NBC is liberal, and yet both are heavily censoring the war to help Trump. That's why we call them pedestrians, okay? Because they're brainwashed just like everybody else.
I'm kind of having fun seeing some of these dudes crash out over ICE being in the airport. I was like, well, blame your Democrats for that. I mean,
they just said they could have met in the middle, and that's what he was just saying. Okay, it's
right.
After 40 days, it's ridiculous. Go ahead and get this shit solved. Okay.
Yeah.
They could have been solved this, but the thing is they don't. And the thing is that at the end of I don't know why ICE being there makes a big difference to them. Okay, if they're not fucking with you, what difference does it make?
Exactly.
Okay. In other words, you'd rather have 8-hour queues to get on the fucking plane, and rather than ICE show up and streamline this stuff. What did you expect them to do? If you really want TSA to instead of crashing out on ICE, crash out on your congressman to actually get that shit passed.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
But well, according a lot of these people, unfortunately, see ICE like the other N word.
I mean, it's fine, and ICE and Trump has not done anything to help their image. Okay.
True.
At the end of the day, are they marching around the airport saying ICE go home? No. They come up there with their baggage and say, okay, ICE is here, and we get on a plane faster because TSA is not there. Go ahead, and maybe it'll force the Democrats to actually do what? Pass the funding bill.
Yeah. I just took a peek over at C-SPAN. Evidently, there's going to be a No Kings protest later in the week over the weekend.
Okay, Deadeye, the link's in the chat, man. If you want to complain, you can complain. The thing, okay, Deadeye, what would you have done? What would you have done? Since you're complaining, what would you have done, Deadeye? If you were Trump and the TSA bill was holding up and TSA was not showing up to work, what would you have done? What would you do? What would you do? I'm asking you, what would you do? What's your solution? No, I'm not saying what the fuck it is. What would you do? That's not the question I was fucking asking. What would you do? What would be your solution to the problem? Evidently, when he put ICE there, the lines did start to shorten. Of course, because I have people in that work for the airlines. The lines did start to move.
Yeah, I was talking with Adrian yesterday. He said, over 500 TSA have quit, and the rest of them, and he quoted you actually. I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And he said I wouldn't recommend flying until they fix this TSA crap.
Yeah, the thing is, you have a backlog. You got people complaining. You got congressmen complaining. Okay, and he doesn't have, all the power he has to do is actually move agents from one place to the next. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What he did.
The only thing you have to, the only power he had is what he actually did. What would you do? You were under. Wait a minute. You were under the impression there wasn't any movement. Where did you get your impression from? That's what I'm asking, because you're talking like you're actually working for the airlines or working in security. You actually know this on the ground. That's why but this is a pedestrian channel, so you're gonna get pedestrians coming in, pulling stuff out of their ass. The people I've talked to, the people that have to wait for those queues. Okay, the thing is, are they going to be as efficient as TSA? No, because they weren't trained for the job. The thing is, you got to do something. Well, the thing is, I got people working at the airlines, and they happen to agree with it. Okay, you got to do something because it was getting ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of angry people because their flights were delayed. I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you're. In fact, there was one chick. She was supposed to be investigating an investigator, right, for the government, actually investigating the crash, right, and she couldn't make it on the plane because the queues were so long. Okay, in fact, she had to miss her flight.
Wow. And
that is the reason that Trump actually put ICE agents, ICE agents in place of, in substitution for whatchamacallit, for TSA agents to actually help move that shit along. Okay. Okay. I still ask you, Deadeye, what would you do instead? If given the same parameters, what would you do instead? Because Trump didn't do it on day one. It got to the point where it was actually getting ridiculous, and in fact they were canceling flights behind this shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my subs, okay, works for one of the busiest airports in the nation. In fact, the busiest airport in the nation. He told me directly. Anyway, go ahead. What you got, AB?
Yeah, went over. I told you, went over. TNO is getting shut down by the health department, and as you said, she should know better. But
I mean,
being hard-headed.
She should. She old, man. She's what, 75. She should know better.
71, I think.
71. Yeah, she should know better. But you know what? That's celebrity shit, man. So I don't really follow it that much. So I don't know what to tell you.
Evidently, Erica Kirk is mad at Brewski for imitating her.
Oh, okay. Well, she got to get mad. If you're a public figure,
That's what I said.
If you're a public figure, it comes with the territory. Okay.
I told people yesterday. I know I've been hard on Butthurt Blue, but in this case, I have to say sore ass red. I mean, if you can't handle somebody like Drewski making fun of you, you don't need to be in the limelight. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, she's a pageant queen, so that they take it seriously.
She's not used to it. Okay,
she's not used to it. Yeah, she's not used to being in the public like that. She got to get some tougher skin.
Pitiful.
Yeah. See, people. That's the whole thing about pedestrians jumping in. Okay. Yeah. They but it's pedestrian, so what can I expect? So.
Yeah, I gave up on some of them. I don't even have certain conversations with them. I had a dude call me a Republican today. I was like, really?
Okay. And so and I'm a Republican. And so what? So what's your Republican? Big deal. What does that mean?
I vote my interest. Depends on.
even if you are a Republican, so what?
Yeah, so what?
So what? It's called America. So what?
He's like,
I,
what do you think about the Iran war? Like, no, I haven't looked at it today. I was like,
uh,
wait,
the sea and ice is custom, so yes, they will be at airports, border crossings, and a whole lot of other major things. The same thing happened with using other other people at the borders, actually invest
mhm.
folks.
Yeah,
Okay,
immigration customs enforcement.
yeah, so TSA can go work at ice things and vice versa because they're all part of the same DHS. That's once you've been vetted, they can move you from one place to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Much the way aircraft controllers went on strike and and Reagan put in military people. You can it's federal. You can do that. So I don't think I don't know why people have a problem with ICE. Okay, unless you're an immigrant, a legal immigrant, then you probably have a problem with ICE. Other than that, I don't know why you have a problem with ICE.
Oh, here's a fun one. Evidently, Sony was suing to shut down your internet if you pirated one of their songs, and the Supreme Court told them to kick rocks.
Oh yeah, well, you're talking about Sony? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they tried, man. They tried. It's not going to work.
Yeah, they wanted to have the right to cut off your internet if somebody in your house or something downloads
downloads a song. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck.
I was like, can y'all read the room? You're not losing that much money that you're gonna push this kind of shit.
Yeah, they always test boundaries and see what they can get away with.
Okay. What's up, Charles? Oh,
His connection is probably not that great.
yeah, I clipped out that part. Y'all roasting that YN. I'm probably gonna play it tomorrow. That shit had me on the floor cracking up.
Yeah. The thing is, I wasn't even gonna get up there, but he comes in, he trolls my channel and other people's channels, stuff like that. So
he has been everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, he has been everywhere. And then when Charles asked him up, he actually came up, man. I said, this motherfucker sounds like Donald Duck, and he got his nerve to get up here.
He sounds like Rainbow Bright with a transgender surgery. He said, I'm in Baltimore. I'm in Baltimore.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give people fair warning, and I hope people take this seriously. You do not want to run up on me, especially if I don't know you or if it's a surprise. You're not gonna like the results.
It's not that, man. It's not that, man. It's the internet courage. Because
I hope it turns into real courage.
No, ain't no real courage, man. I've been in this game since '88, man.
Yeah, I know what it is. I'm just wondering who's stupid enough to try it.
I mean, I'm old, man. But you said, "Well, old nigga, I'll come beat your ass." I said, "I believe in red dots, motherfucker." You know what that is?
Yeah. I heard he said red dot. Oh,
yeah. I believe in red dots. Try it. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what. I think the first time somebody tried to talk about, I said, "Dude, I know exactly where you were." Little did he know, I was already there.
Oh, okay.
So I knew exactly what he was talking about on Miami Street with the Dunkin' Donut.
Okay.
I knew exactly where the fuck he was.
He's probably using their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, probably. Man, he should get that nigga need a testosterone shot from a bull elephant.
That's what's funny about it, man. You have nerve to troll.
Yeah, because I was listening to it. And I was like, "That's something. Is this a kid or something?" I mean, this.
He said, "You niggas blocked me." you got to be kidding. You blocked me.
See, this is the time of day when I don't have any respect for you. Normally, you punch a person in the goddamn face, but you slap the shit out of them. You just slap them. You put no lotion in your hand and just slap them.
Nah, you take off with a nigga like that. You take off the belt, start whooping his ass like
slap him right to the ground like a little bitch.
Like a little bitch, yeah. Like
you don't give him the palm. You give him the backhand. Pow!
Nah. You give him the strap, man. The hand's too good for him.
Mm-hmm. I tell people, why are you? I want to take this time out to say, is ICE a law enforcement agency?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, well, I asked people, okay, Congress could have solved this months ago, okay? They didn't, okay? And the president only has so many avenues to solve a problem, right? He did what
Especially
he's
checks
supposed to
and
do to solve
balances.
a problem. Yeah, yeah. That's what he's supposed to do. So the thing is, that's why I ask people, well, I don't like guys being there. So you want to wait 8 hours in a queue? No, you don't. If ICE can cut off an hour or two off the time you got to wait, you want them there. They're
So,
not there to beat people with batons and shit. Okay.
so let me ask you this question, right?
Mhm.
What problem or what non favors are ICE doing? Because I really want you to know TSA is just security at best.
Uh, uh, oh, look! Everybody's favorite lame is in the house. Gabe, what's going on, Gabe?
Hey,
Whoop de
Veneers.
doo.
What's,
What's up,
everybody,
Veneers?
everybody's favorite lame. What's up, lame?
Whoop de doo.
Whoop de doo.
Oh man, how the fuck you got the body of Rocky the Teeth of Bullwinkle?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Let's do what his wife does, ignore him. But anyway,
Yeah.
um, but it's like this. What problem now? If you're
Mhm.
not somebody who's only first generation American,
Ah, oh,
So what?
admirable, admirable.
Is
Hey,
that all you got, man?
that's all.
Seriously.
60 plus and name called, and just what you just did, lame motherfucker.
hmm,
You don't want to talk to my granny, because she'll cuss your ass out. Okay.
hmm. Speaking of people,
Go find out what your kids are doing, man.
Mm.
Go take
they
care of your
yelling.
kids.
Yeah, he worried about how you be on
Yeah,
live streams. Your kids be yelling like a goddamn fire in the background.
I know. They sure do. Anyway.
Mm.
Mm.
But I really want to know what people's problem with ICE is. I think it's a trial run.
I mean, Trump could have handled it better and not make such a spectacular show of him doing stuff. Okay, he could have made it better, but and then you have white people crashing out, following ICE around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, ICE probably would not fuck with you if you wasn't fucking with them.
Yeah,
Mm.
most law enforcement. Like, why? See, this is what happens when you had extreme sports versus extreme living.
My thing is, why is people in Minnesota trying to protect illegal immigrants? That was
Somebody got somebody got to clean their houses.
I mean, if why are you following people around and protecting them? Okay, why are you
Because
marching around and intervening and getting in the way and getting yourself shot and that kind of stuff? Okay, uh, you, they the stuff they did out the street they could have done when they could have gone right to Congress. Okay, 2 months earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know why the eyes were actually on you is because I think they like the Somali immigrants there. I think that's probably the biggest reason.
Mhm.
They just don't want to admit it.
Yeah. Scammers like scammers.
I don't think this. One thing that Congress needs to do, which is the same thing with this cat man arguing back and forth over the wars and shit like that, and arguing over the DHS and the budget stuff like that. Come on, motherfuckers! You guys have to at some point have to actually manage the country instead of going back and forth over bullshit. Okay, with these
Yeah.
petty ass beefs. Okay. And if you don't, if you come to a compromise, fund DHS, okay, because you put the motherfucker in office, okay, there's a reason that you put him in office. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to manage shit because y'all didn't solve that shit when Biden was doing it. You let him do it.
Yeah,
You could have solved that shit then.
they didn't want to do it.
They didn't want to do it.
They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to touch it. That's why I told people when you have a government shutdown, it's not because of the president.
Like like
Yep.
like like I'm saying, even with this shit going on in Iran, okay?
Yeah.
If you come up with a War Powers Act, you can pull the plug on all this shit, okay? How come you haven't? Because you agree with it.
Yeah, I
He
agree
actually
with it.
he don't agree with the outcome, but he actually agrees with the war.
Mm-hmm.
He never said he didn't agree with the war. It's unpopular. It's because you don't have an outcome.
Yeah.
Because what Trump told you he could do, he couldn't do. And
Yeah.
now everybody wants to backslide, okay? Because you didn't say shit when he snatched Maduro.
Matter of fact, you were clapping.
You're clapping for it. Yeah, you say shit when he snatched Maduro.
I just tell people that they need to peel back the layers like the Wizard of Oz and see what the real truth is about.
I wish people had the guts enough to just make a clean sweep of every congressman and senator. Just boop, get them out of here.
How
And
many times have I?
and then reelect just real. If you are a sitting whatever it is, bump them out of there. Just put in all clean people. Okay.
That's what I
Put 'em
said
in-
years ago. You
put 'em in-
motherfuckers are scared of change.
Yeah.
Human beings typically are scared of being out there comfort and change, and even
I mean,
more so now.
people like we talked about housing earlier, right? About um, the price of housing. Okay, and I was showing that we got literally have ghost cities in Baltimore and ghost cities in Washington D.C. where it's like 20% occupancy, right? But the price doesn't go down, and nobody says shit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you want to spend $200 billion, which I want to see if they're actually going to because they're not going to say they don't want to give them the money. What we're saying is you got to raise taxes to get the money, right? They're not saying that it's worth it. Because they actually agree with this shit, but they don't agree with the price that it's costing. That's why that's what I'm saying. I'm getting tired of fucking Congress trying to blame shit on Trump. Y'all agree? Y'all could stop him if you wanted to. You just don't want to. You just actually blaming him for doing shit that you would actually want to see done.
And then on top of that, the one thing they don't want is somebody come look at how the fuck you a senator for only 5 years, but you worth fucking $20 million.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What did you do before you became a senator? Well, I was a junior lawyer. How the fuck you get 20 mil?
Yeah.
How the fuck you get these stocks?
If you were doing your job and the country's running right, I don't care how much money you steal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot steal money and fuck up the country at the same time. It don't work that way.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine Crockett is on the case.
Ah, gosh.
They still crying about Jasmine Crockett. Good Lord.
I'm curious. What do they see in Jasmine Crockett? Really? What is it? What has she done?
Yeah.
Themselves.
Yeah, that too.
They ask you what have you really done? Because it's like you have done 2 terms in Congress. What have you really done in Congress that's worthy? That's worthwhile? She couldn't name one thing.
Even her own party took a profile sheet and said she's great for doing fundraisers.
Yeah, some of y'all's lower than Staver voted for endorsed Tellerico.
Obama did, yeah, because Jasmine Crockett is a joke, man. Everybody knows she's a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to bring something up, Charles? Because this is an AMA show. Then you want to bring up?
Well, I already talked about the ICE thing, so.
In fact, we played the congressman. They're actually they're actually trying to push through. It's funny. The Senate actually pushed through a bill to actually fund TSA, and then the Democrat. I think it was the Democrats and the Democrats in the Congress actually killed it, just blocked it. It's like what the fuck are y'all doing?
But yeah, everybody say it's the Republicans. I mean, fair is fair, right is right, wrong is wrong. The Democrats are all about Trump's bad. We got to make him look bad. Run the fucking country. If you're not capable of doing it, let's get somebody who can. My fucking tabby cat was probably better qualified and suited.
Yeah.
Makes better decisions, obviously.
Yeah. They talk about Jason Black. Jason Black is there for entertainment. Jason Black is not a serious thinker in my estimation. Okay, they're there for entertainment. Okay, because a lot of stuff that he said, man, I proved he's 100% wrong. Okay, in fact, there's two. I gave him two ideas. He actually made movies about. Believe it or not, but it's okay. Never
It's
gave me
sad.
credit. He never gave me credit, but it's okay.
It's sad because, since this space been around,
Mm-hmm.
they look at us as problem solvers, but nobody wants to take the initiative to galvanize themselves to solve the problem. Right.
Most people are not going to take the solutions to the problem gets so they have no
That's
other.
like when I was on Mr. Z show. I said, I'm not giving a fuck about no big back and no bonnet. And what the fuck's she talking about? Look, you're your bid. You're mad because the guy you think you should be with does not even know you exist.
I don't
Who
care if
cares?
she's a freaking 10. Okay,
Girl, nobody
if
cares.
you're not added to my life, let the bear eat you. Okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
have to start letting bears eat these women. Okay.
You're gonna have to suffer like we suffered.
You know what? If you don't want to correct the problems, let the problem fester and let the bear eat you. Okay.
What happened? What happened to the Vildermites when that fucking scourge virus? Oh,
Yeah.
guess what? If you're not strong enough, only 50 of you survive. If you ain't strong enough, sucks to be you.
Sucks to be you. Okay. So and trust and believe, man, with this war going on, y'all talking about bullshit, man. Got a war going on. You got getting ready, your inflation getting ready to skyrocket. Your shelves getting ready to be empty. And this is what the fuck you guys are talking about? Get the fuck out of here.
It's
Get the
on
fuck
my
out.
mind.
You know. There is no gender war, okay? Ain't no gender war, okay? The gender war ended with COVID, okay? The gender war ended with COVID, and are y'all still listening to these chicks these chicks complain about shit that ain't got no fucking power? Gender war ended with COVID.
Once you notice how your life ran when you couldn't date, you didn't have to date.
Yeah,
You
and that's what's
learned
happening.
you learned a lot of times you shouldn't.
The COVID, because I was talking to Dr. T right before COVID and during COVID, and I told him, okay, monkhood is going to change a lot. A mini monkhood or your monkhood is going to change a lot of your dating patterns, okay, permanently. Is because what you're going to learn during monkhood is that you, without dating or woman or pussy, will not kill you, okay.
Yeah.
And once you know that it's not going to kill you, then you can either say yes or no. And you have a lot of young guys that have found that out that they can say yes or no.
And then you find out how much a lot of these chicks irritate you. Like it's not funny. It's actually pretty sad on women's behalf because when you're at the prime of your life, boys usually come to the yard.
Yeah.
Now when you fight
Or,
your biological urge, it's like, nah,
yeah,
that's powerful.
the thing is, man, I don't know, let me just say this, okay? Y'all motherfuckers are not insiders. Y'all wasn't here. Y'all wasn't fucking here in 2014, 2015 when we're actually building this shit, okay? You weren't.
No.
When there was actually supposed to be a gender war, okay? The gender war ended with Kevin.
You gotta think about it. A lot of y'all Johnny come latelys. Y'all weren't here when they were actually taking people's channels.
Channels and doxing people and all kind of shit. Yeah.
A lot of y'all weren't here for that shit. Y'all don't realize how much people had to really fight in this motherfucking and actually debate.
Yeah.
The reason why you don't see any too many debates like you used to 10 years ago is because the debate's over.
The debate is over, okay? You got two choices, right? You either get right or get left, okay? And a lot of chicks are getting left, okay? They're fucking crying in their cars, crying in the fucking hotels. I just did a show the other yesterday about the Afrotech and all these hoes actually invading Afrotech looking for an engineer or a tech guy, okay? A high value man, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
and they're paying $1,500 for a weekend just to go meet a guy like that. Gender war is over. I don't even know what we're arguing about. Okay. All women are doing now is complaining. The dudes aren't complaining no more. The dudes are actually telling other guys, man, you don't need her. You got option A, B, C, D, E, G, and F. Okay, take another one. And that's what you guys are mad about, because guys are taking other options.
The biggest lie that was ever told is that there's a scarcity of women.
A scarcity of women, and they found out it's not true. And what the government doesn't like is that these guys are figuring out, I don't have to do all that work and earn all that goddamn money if I don't have a family. And the thing is, what value is a family to me? If I got to listen to this shit, the average black marriage last 5 years, they're gonna take me, they're gonna take my kids, and I have to be on the hook for 18 years for what? For 2 good years at best.
What they say, half of it take the time you were together, half of that is you're breaking up.
Yeah.
Like, why get married?
The thing is, if you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, all that kind of crap. You should sit down. In fact, Rollo Tomasi said the exact same thing. Okay, that the red pill was not there to tell guys what to do. The red pill is there to tell you what your options are, and you decide what's best for you.
Right.
Yeah.
The red pill never told them, because the red pill is built on pickup and MRA. Okay, men's rights and dating. Okay, was it pickup artists? Okay, how to date and how to protect your rights. That's what it's basically built upon. All right, it's not telling you what to do. It's telling you don't have to follow the script that your government and your mama gave you.
First of all, you want to kick over tables.
That's all it's doing. Okay. That's all it's doing. There is no gender war. Okay, there ain't no gender war no more. And basically, what you have is reach back and pitch begging right now. My thing is going to go from value your light and attention to protect your light, because they're after it right now, and it's going to increase as this because as AI and inflation and the dollar starts to take a hit, because Trump is not going to win this war, right? Okay, your dollar will take a hit. And a whole lot of people are going to suffer because just like in 1980, because I was looking at Dr. T's chart in 1980, right? Okay, people blame the boomers. Well, boomers had it easy, motherfucker. We paying 22% interest with 20% 20% unemployment. How the fuck is that easy?
And then look at some of the literacy rates.
Yeah, how the fuck is that easy? Okay, y'all, you little snotty nosed motherfuckers never went through that shit ever. Y'all came to in the 90s to the 2000s to 2010. Those were boom times. Okay, those are easy.
That's ironic. Hello, BGS. Hey, everybody.
All right, but okay, one May. Okay, I'm getting complaints, so try not to dominate the whole conversation. Okay.
I'm not going to speak here for 5 minutes. I'm going to be quiet and just say, I have a question, and then I'll go.
Go
No
ahead. What's
worries.
your question?
I was wondering. Interestingly, Jason Black was just blaming boomers for the economic situations. But anyway, so it's ironic. But my question is kind of we'll all be boomers one day, right? So my question to you is, when you guys don't,
You be old, but you can't be a boomer. But
well, you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Well, we'll be older. Um, my question to you is this: if you don't say what now?
No, don't. ADD, ADHD, please stay on track. Okay?
You said something before.
No, I didn't say anything. He said that was
Yeah,
AD.
it's like I said we're already older, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Real quick. Question is, if we're not promoting family and somebody to be there for us as individuals, my question is, especially when we talk about monk mode or independent chick, and you don't have any kids, what is the answer to that when someone starts to age? That's the question.
The thing is, what's going to happen to your society between now and then? Okay, it's going to decline and die. Okay, it's going to decline and die. It's going to decline and die. That's what it's going to do. That's what's doing now. Okay.
Right, but if you don't have children and you don't have anybody
And
young that you've
the thing,
invested in,
so,
what
so,
is your advice to people when
in
it's time
other
to be old?
in other words, advice I would say number one, back the money, make sure you have having investments and stuff like that, and get the fuck out of this country. All these people go to a cheaper spot. If you don't have to punch a clock to get your money, go to some place to actually lower in price to actually live. That's what I would say. But we got a whole lot of old people that won't do this. Oh, I don't want to be here. This is my home. Well, stay the fuck here and suffer. I don't give a shit. Stop crying.
So having a lot of money and leaving is pretty much.
Okay. Logically, what would you do if you're in a high cost country, okay, and you're living in a cramped little apartment that's costing you $1,500 a month, and you don't have to
Mhm.
work, okay? What would be what's the first thing that you have to do? Lower your what?
Your expenses.
Lower your expenses. Okay, you can't do it here in a high cost country. So what's the next option? What's the most logical option to do?
If you got a retirement account or something like that, you got ongoing income,
I just
or
said
you
that.
got a whole lot of money saved, you
You don't
can
have
absolutely go to another country.
okay,
But
okay.
you have to invest in that
Oh
country in order to be
no
able
no
to
no no no
stay.
no 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 no. What's the okay? Just Social Security. What's the average Social Security payment? Average.
I was talking about retirement.
Is that the question I asked you?
I don't know what the average Social Security is. I'm guessing $1,000. I guess I
It's,
don't know. I don't get it.
average Social Security is $1,500. That's average. Okay.
Uh huh.
What's the average wage? Say you want to move to Thailand. Okay. What's the average wage? You a month.
You talking about to get paid if you work?
If you work, yes.
Oh, I don't know. It's probably
Five
low. I'm
five
guessing.
hundred $500. So you're making three times the amount that the average worker makes. Okay. Guess what that makes you? That puts you in what the top 5 to 10% of people, right? So your Social Security check that barely gives you like a little stick apartment, okay, and barely can eat, can actually do very well in Thailand or the Philippines or the DR or Panama
Nah,
or
I'm
Mexico.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I've learned a little bit quick about trying to be an expat, which I have tried part time to do.
Uh-huh.
Um, investing in the DR and stuff. You do have to make an initial investment to like buy a property so you
No,
can
you don't.
actually
No,
stay
you
and have
don't. No,
residency,
no, no, you don't.
or you gotta have money that you're gonna keep
No,
flying
no,
back
you
and
don't.
forth to
No,
different
no,
countries.
okay. No, you
Your
don't.
visa's only for so long.
The thing is, they have retirement visas, okay? And the
Some
retirement,
countries, some.
okay. How many? Have you actually researched this at all?
I have for DR, absolutely, because I bought property there, but not any other countries. I have no
Have
interest in Philippines.
have you actually researched a green card in other countries?
Yeah, I just told you in DR. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the only one, right? Okay,
yeah.
Thailand. If you have $15,000 in yearly income, okay, you can actually get a retirement visa in Thailand. Okay,
Oh, okay.
you can get a 1 year retirement visa in Gambia. You can get most of your Latin American countries. If you got an income coming in that's above the uh, the wage rate, you can actually not only get a retirement visa but also citizenship. Okay.
Well, that's the process, but yes, eventually, yeah. This is not easy.
Okay. If you stay here, what's your options?
Well, if you have a family, you do have options, but if you don't have a family, you better probably do something else. Or you could do like the Golden Girls and you can like cohabitate. That's an option.
What I'm saying is it easier to go get your own place, a nice place, an upscale place where you can actually eat and feed yourself and live decent, and even have a nurse come and visit you every now and then, okay, that you can afford, okay, or stay
Yeah.
here.
No, I do. I see your point. I see your point. I have to say this too, though. A lot of times Americans don't know how to downgrade. They want to upgrade. And I'll give you an example in DR. Like a lot of the dudes that are retired, I hang out with when I go there. A
Hmm.
lot of them want to drink beer and they want to hang out and they want to womanize and all of that stuff costs more money. So what you thought you was saving, you kind of end up at the same. A lot of the people are so they want gym memberships. They want to drive, certain cars and stuff, they
It,
don't go there and downgrade.
it's because they're doing stuff down there that they couldn't do here. Okay, which
True,
is
true.
fine. Okay,
Yeah,
because you couldn't do it for that kind of money here. That's why they do it.
true.
I have no problem with it. Okay, you ask me about older people. Older people are not gonna do that shit. They're not there to do. They're not there to hit the brothels and drive fast cars and drink all the time. They're not. They're trying to live a decent life. Okay, that's what you asked me about, right?
Yeah. Now,
And
people say in the chat that you can work anywhere. I don't know, y'all.
it
Y'all,
de-
y'all know better than
it
me. Trying to
it,
be
de- it
nomads.
it depends on your skill set. Okay, if you're a doctor or a nurse or something like that, you can work anywhere, right? If you're a tech, um, depending on what you can work anywhere. Okay. Now, I think I've answered your question. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
The thing is, okay, if and this is something. This is why people don't understand. Should actually study MGTOW instead of just disagree with them. Okay.
Okay.
MGTOW is a protest movement coming from the MRAs. In other words, MRA shit didn't work. Government wasn't listening to you. Guess what MGTOW did? We actually going to withhold our labor and our presence from the government. Okay, until they change shit. That's what MGTOW is about. That's what's going on right now. The government is in the process of changing things. Is because you have to give these boys incentive to actually marry and work and have a family. What incentive do they actually have to have a family?
If it's a tradition that you come from,
No, no.
yeah. But
What incentive on the ground do they have to have a family?
I don't know, values, personal religion. I
What do you
guess
get? What
those
do
would
you
be
get
like
out of it? What do
Hold
you
on a
get out
second.
of it?
In other words, do the modern women have the same values that they had 50 years ago?
modern men don't and modern women
I,
don't.
I asked you, can you please answer my freaking question the way I asked you?
You want to corner me?
Just
That's
like
No,
fine.
question.
I'm not.
You just question, girl.
I'm trying to expand something so you actually understand where I'm coming from. You think maybe I ain't got to trap you, okay? I don't have to trap you. I don't even have to talk to you. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
trap. I don't.
exactly.
I have zero to prove on this on this platform. I've already proven myself. Okay. I
I
have
got
zero to
you.
prove. Okay.
Yeah, I just had a question. That's all.
No, in other words, the reason I asked you that I'm not gonna cuss. I asked you that question. Okay, is because these men have to accept these women the way they are. Okay. If you want them to have modern, old fashioned values and old fashioned things, the women have to do the same thing. Are they doing it?
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think
So
everybody's going modern.
so you
Everybody.
so you can't expect boys to see the same value in their women that their fathers and grandfathers saw. Okay, you can't
Hmm.
expect them to do that because it's not happening. They're not getting the same thing. So in other words, if they're not getting the same return on investment, okay, that I got and that my father got, why should they do the same thing that I did or my father did?
Well, I think it's just going to be an extinction because of modernization and
No, no, no.
economics.
I asked you a simple question. Why should they do it?
You cornering me with a
No,
question that's like biased.
I'm not cornering you in a question. Give me your answer, okay? Why
Just
should
say
they
yes
do
or
it?
black, sweetie.
My answer is if anything doesn't make sense for you as a person, it's something you should not do if it doesn't make
Exactly.
sense to
That's
you.
why they're not doing it.
And I ain't complaining. I'm good with it. I'm
So,
not worried about it.
so the government, if they because if you research this, okay, if you research this, okay, kids are an expense and they're actually not an addition to your life, okay, financially. If you look at at the ledger, okay, the reason that kids were of value to you in the agrarian age is because they were hands. You needed kids to actually extend your life and actually work on your farm. Okay, when that went away, okay, kids became a deficit instead of a asset. Okay, so now that's how come the birth rate has gone down. That's how come women don't want to have kids. They're not an asset anymore. So government has to make them an asset. How do they do that? And how do you convince the men to actually take that a family, a wife, and kids are actually an asset instead of a liability?
Hmm.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'm gonna go. I appreciate it. I just want to say this. Toya had a question or a comment.
No,
She asked,
you.
"Why does a married woman?"
Hey,
No, I'm not saying that crazy.
hold on, chaos. She's talking to me. As long as nothing crazy, as long as nothing disrespectful, yes, you can talk
No, it's
about
not.
it.
It's
Okay, thank
not.
you.
No, she made a statement. She was asking why, or question rather. She asked why would a married woman hang out with dudes in the DR. If you actually go to the DR, specific areas, you'll find what you call expat
Yeah,
communities, and
yes.
we meet online and we all talk to each other about how to navigate the space. And it
In,
just happens to be mostly men there, so that's the answer. We all network together
in
as
other
Black
words,
expats.
in other words, if you're an American, okay, and you're in a foreign country, all the expats are actually going to group together.
Yeah, yeah,
No
exactly.
matter no matter what they're on, they could be on the whole thing. They could be married. They could be a whole bunch of other shit. Okay, they're actually going to group together because they have something in common.
True,
That's
absolutely.
why. So I know. I know why you do it. It's because they do the same thing in Panama. In fact, the women, the black women, actually taking over Panama because they're following the black men down there. But it's the same stuff. Okay.
And
It's,
Black women have arrived in DR too, just so y'all know. I used to be the only one.
it, it, that's why I call black women patty rollers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're chasing down their escaped slaves.
Yep.
Oh wow. But it's funny because when I go to DR and I say, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" I'll be so happy, to be around people who speak English. And you know what they do? They look the other way. I'll be like, "What was that about?" They
Hey,
be
oh,
embarrassed. They
they,
embarrassed.
no, they're not embarrassed. They left to get away from you.
From you.
No, that's not
That's no
it.
Yeah.
funny thing.
They embarrassed because they got the
No,
chicas,
no.
the
Bull.
$5
Hey,
chicas.
hey, mate.
No.
We got
Huh?
one word for it. It's called bullshit. They talk to
Oh,
me
here
all
we
the
go.
time. No,
You should know that
they
already.
left. They left to get away from you. They don't want to see you down there with them.
They
Yeah.
be looking away. They put their
Yeah.
glasses
Oh
on. I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, how
They
you
look
doing,
away.
brother?"
No, they don't. They don't want to see you. It's bullshit. You know what the fuck it is, mate. Stop playing. Okay.
I know what it is. They came to be
No,
indiscriminate,
no.
not discriminatory.
They came for a different experience of people and women. They came to get away from their masters. Okay, they run away.
Okay.
They run away slaves. Okay. MS Delta says, "Blessing, master teacher." Appreciate you, MS Delta.
All right, I ain't gonna hate. I ain't gonna wear my welcome out. Appreciate you,
All right,
BGS.
all right.
All right, bye.
She answered every question Jason Black asked her, but she come over here and then give you the runaround. I find it ironic, and her story tells more and it's revealing. Y'all will see.
Because they disagree with my answers. So Jason Black caters to women.
Yeah,
Most of his subs are women, so he caters to them.
most majority
But
of
they
subs.
do this to me. But your love's oh so true. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
You
I,
know,
I, didn't, I didn't come to this platform to get popular. Yeah.
you know, if you came to this space to be popular, you're a damn fool.
I mean, the thing is, me and AB would be selling tech if it was we came here to be
Mm-hmm.
popular. I mean,
I could tell.
I look at sometimes I get pissed off at myself, man. These guys get free shit. They get tons of subs. They get all the free tech first, and I'm over here talking to y'all.
Yeah. No,
Talk about
I could be the second. I could be the second coming to Brandon Tatum.
manhood stuff.
I could
I'm gonna
be.
say it's that you. This is B that said, "Listen, here, youngsters, I'm preventing you to deal with these hoes. You have options.
They have Charles.
If you want hoes, go ahead. But listen,
Charles been with me from the beginning.
Don't sugarcoat.
Charles been with me for a long time, man. I do not tell brothers what to do. I said you have options. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way: I personally could have been the second coming to Brandon Tatum,
Yeah,
and
you
better.
could. Yeah.
You got to look at what you're getting out of the space. A lot of people want this space. I tell people, I'm not the type of guy you want to talk about Keisha all day long with, because it's there at some point. Fuck them or fuck them.
I mean,
Yeah, you don't got these problems, Charles. That's why. And I'm gonna say it's
And
personally.
it's not even about problems. It's like, I get it. Some people want to vent, but what are you gonna do after that shit?
I mean, but most of the guys that keep talking about Keisha actually love Keisha. That's why they talk
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah,
Either they
it's
get
like,
Keisha or not is one or the other. And
it's
if
like,
you get them,
the worst thing I get is weirdos like, "Hey, babe, you fear me." No, I don't. I don't, baby. I don't.
Wait.
Gabe they said that to you.
Gabe Bay says that because he wants that kind of clout. Okay, he ain't that guy.
You're not that guy. You don't. You're not the terror that flaps in the night, nigga. No, you're not.
No, no.
I'm just like you fear me. And I'm like, what? What do I fear about you? See, let's put this spade for spade. Let's talk nigga for nigga, Gabe, for a second.
Yep.
When my child was as young as your children, you couldn't hear them because I was too busy tending to them. I didn't look for clout for this bitch. See, I was the one who went to the schools, who volunteered, both in wrestling and in the classroom. And I was in one of the top 5 busiest cities in America when it comes to law enforcement.
You helped them.
I'm going to say to you what I said to that squeaky voiced young man the other day.
That was hilarious, Charles.
Was it on your channel, Charles?
It was on the channel. That was hilarious, man.
No,
I had to come up with
I
about that.
break
That was
about
hilarious.
the smoke session, Charles. But if you get weirdos like this, you gotta let me know.
I'm like this. I rarely get them. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told that little bitch. That squeaky, mousy bitch. Rainbow Bright. That's his new name, Rainbow Bright. That's what I'm gonna call you. You're Rainbow Bright. I might even call you Jim in a hologram. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. If I didn't fear the criminals of Baltimore, we have real criminals here, by the way, that we actually made shows of. If I could walk by myself, spin in my S-Band tune, and not have a raise in my fucking heartbeat, what do I fear about you? If I'm over there doing 354 missions in the first 6 months of my 18-month tour, doing God knows what type of shit from reconnaissance, direct action, convoy security, VIP security, humanitarian, building and search and rescue, building and house raids. If those insurgents and those people there, what the fuck do I fear you? Like, really, get the fuck out of your own ego.
Yeah. MSF said definitely as a black man, when traveling and staying in other countries, once a black woman see you, they try to latch on. Yes, they do. Because you offer protection to them when you're there, so they will try to latch on. In fact, the fact that they see where you're going and actually follow you, because I'm always wasn't going down to Panama, 10 years ago, but now they took over. They wasn't going to Colombia by themselves, okay, until you start going.
Exactly.
Now they what's for them in the DR? Why are they going to the fucking DR?
To get their cheap clap.
No, they didn't get the cheap clap. They
American black man and the foreign man.
Now they go to Ghana to get the cheap clap. They go to Jamaica to get the cheap clap, but they don't go to the DR. Okay, they're looking for black men.
A worthless existence. You hear still pouncing on black men as they try to step out the door. Hey, VJ, still got the thumbnail when the guy with the suitcase and that bitch holding.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
You should always have that little skit video. I know if what's some Abe could make a I just saying this is y'all right here.
Okay.
Don't leave me and just dragging that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you go to the DR for real estate? I don't get it.
What are you talking about?
In other words, the DR has been down there for forever, right? Okay, and guys been going to the DR for the last 20, 30 years. Why all of a sudden y'all go down to the DR? Okay, all of a sudden when we make it pop, and all of a sudden y'all want to go
because it's safe to go. Women ain't going nowhere until the men settle the land.
Till they settle down, yeah.
I just look at it very vividly, like that. I think I do need to clip that show. That shit was too funny for me.
It was funny.
No, don't worry. I got it, Charles. I'm gonna find it.
Oh my god! Like I'm in bed and
how come women don't perform their own expat communities instead of waiting for the men?
How many women make their own communities now, sir?
They do here. They do all the time here. Okay. They did it in Ghana. In Ghana, the women, there was always more women than men in Ghana. Always more women than men in Ghana.
Because
you go there, yeah, because it is safe. They got businesses, they got hotels, they got all kind of shit in Ghana. Okay.
Because it's all so true. But I was good to you. Hey, yeah. oh, oh my goodness. I just laughed.
Damn, Charles. I don't know. Was this like a day ago? Yesterday, I'm trying to find it for your channel. I'm scrolling it. Was it a 6-hour stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, because did he came up on the panel?
Yeah. Come up.
Okay, then you must have shielded it because I'm trying to find it.
No, it's there. It's just in the middle
Yeah.
somewhere.
Okay. In the middle.
Okay.
That's because I got to do my soliloquy for the first hour.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So,
but the thing is that people always, especially the women, always the anti-ministry people always talk about us, the negative stuff, right? Okay, they talk about the negative stuff about Kevin. Or Kevin talked shit, and that's where he got. No, he didn't. Okay, we know where Kevin became popular. He blew up. It's because of COVID.
Yeah.
It wasn't for COVID and in his mix, which is a high value men, Kevin would have never blown up. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of people in the mix, like myself and Jesse, and you notice the different clientele of women and men in that mix. A lot of people just didn't fit the bill. And like you said about Kevin's part in his role was to clean up the image and the role of the high tier man, the educated guy.
The educated lame that wasn't polished. That's what he came up for.
Yeah.
That's where the mix came from. Okay. And once he polished them up, okay, and then COVID happened, okay, all of a sudden all these chicks started looking for that kind of guy, and guess who had him? That's why they came up, But everybody said, "Oh, it's because he was talking shit about women." Oh, they showed up because it was salacious and stuff like that. Partially true, but that's not why they came up.
But at the same time, they like that shit.
They do like it. They do like it. That makes them popular. But thing is, that's not what. If he didn't have high value men, they wouldn't show up like that.
No, and those are the men they needed during that time because.
Yeah, just like you see it try to pop up now. That's why I was talking about Afrotech. Okay, I remember Mike V talked about Afrotech and those kind of trade shows. Right, only Asian and white women used to show up to that. Okay. Sister didn't do all that stuff. Okay. All of a sudden they high value men. Oh, that's where the men that have good jobs are. Let's go there, right? Now they're trying to take over the whole event, which is pissing the guys off. Okay. Stop trying to make this tech event a dating platform. Okay.
Exactly. This is why a lot of times it's the same thing with some of these anime and comic book communities. It's one thing to have a chick who genuinely likes it, who genuinely cosplay.
Yes.
Do I complain about the big butt chicks wearing it? Not necessarily, but when it becomes too much, it becomes overwhelming. It's like, okay, do you really come out here to have fun, or you just want to be sexy? Because you can be sexy your own damn time. I come to fellowship, and a lot of times it gets to this about black women is that a lot of black women are never taught grace by their mothers in the modern day.
Yeah.
They don't know how to hold back. They got to be all in, and it becomes overbearing.
It's because black women are taught to be mama when there's black men, okay? And they don't come in asking you to actually fit in. They come in to take over. And that's the problem.
That's why a lot of times when I meet a lot of chicks and they be like, well, you're going to do, I said, 1, calm down. 2, sit down. 3, stop talking. 4, I'm going to talk. Now, we're going to get to know me first because, trust me, very rarely you have anything interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I learned a valuable lesson. I think it was 86. Okay. My fiance, we were actually moving in together, and my mother did something that shocked me because that's when the debit cards were first out for banks. Okay. And I had one for me and one for a backup that my mother had, right? And my mother handed her my debit card without my permission, right? Said, "You take this because you have to take care of him now." I got handed off to another kind of crap. This is
Wow.
when I learned. Okay, this is the way shit works. This is the way they think. Okay, you belong to them, not the other way around. If you think about all your interaction with black women, okay, they think that you belong to them because they own you. That's why. That's why That's why black women drop babies out of wedlock. They're trying to get possession of you.
Yeah. And shit, I tell people, I said I'm not to be owned. I'm like, I could be the lion of the pride, or I could be the lone lion himself.
Yeah.
That's like,
MSL says in the DMV, when I happen to chat with the lovely ladies in work or social environments, they used to get around to say, "I bet you date white."
well, you know what that is, MS Delta, and I'm still waiting for you to come past the show. And bless the brothers, good job. But on all seriousness, I bet you date white women really translated. You're not going to allow me to dominate you, or I can't act a certain way with you.
Yeah, you weren't trained in the aesthetic. That's what it is.
Uh-huh. And it's just like when they call you sassy. Oh, he won't let me disrespect them.
Yep. Ownership. And that's what we talk about, which is what makes women upset. Because the management never came here to talk to women. Okay, he came here to talk to ourselves. Now, men may branch out and take what they learned to women, but things we never came to attack women. Okay, y'all come here to see what we're actually saying about you. And the thing is, you can't prove that we're wrong. That's the problem. Anyway, what else you guys got? You guys got anything else? Because this is
one thing I do want to damn.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask damn, now it's my I would say this be this in regards to the well, actually we'll start with the expansion. Maybe it'll come back to me.
The expansion of what?
Since the NBA is going to expand now and add 2 more teams, one the existing team, Seattle SuperSonics, and now Las Vegas. I mean, they're going to shuffle some of the teams that on the Western Conference now is the Eastern Conference.
You talking about NBA? You talking about NBA or what?
Yeah, like the Timberwolves, they're now going to be shifted to the East now.
To balance the teams out, number of teams out.
Them, but also the Memphis Grizzlies. They're going to be in the East too, because there's 2 Western teams. Because Las Vegas around most in the West Coast, same thing with Seattle.
They have to balance out the number of conference teams. Yeah, that's why.
So if Minnesota don't get out of the West this year, they have a better shot now once the expansion actually.
It goes back for sometimes the East is tougher, sometimes the West is tougher. Depends. Okay, I'm sure they want to get out of the West because of San Antonio.
I mean, but the West was always tougher for the last 30 years.
No, not really. Look at who's won the championship over the past 5 years.
Besides, but I'm talking about the last 20 years.
From
the Lakers.
No,
Lakers and San Antonio, and then Dallas won one.
Well, Dallas won one, but
I think the Heat still won 1, 2.
The Heat won 1. Boston,
and then don't forget the Golden State Warriors won 2, 3. I think they have 4.
But it goes back and forth. Okay, it goes back and forth.
So if you think about for over 20 years, just being respectfully.
If you go to the last 5 years, it's been the East.
Let me think. Who was last 5 years? Let me see.
I think Boston won it. Like
Boston won 1, and then I gotta double check. I think Boston won 1 around this decade.
The thing is, it's you got to remember, because y'all think about competition. It's about money, okay?
Yeah,
and they have to balance out the money.
Yeah, obviously you got balance money, yeah.
And basically that's not, Dallas has been in the East for a long time. Dallas is squarely in the middle of the country. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. They could really, they could decide which one. I know Minnesota's gonna be in the East, but they could pick between Dallas and Memphis if they're in the middle.
The reason I want to move Dallas is because you got San Antonio and Houston. You break up the rivalry. That's why you don't want to move them.
Then they'll probably be the second team to be in the East End.
And if you got new teams coming in, or you can either move the new team, or if Minnesota depends on their fan base, they're right in the middle, so they're easier to move.
well, they'll be the first to move. To be honest with you, because they're
they're right in the middle, so they're the easiest thing to move.
They get rid of the middle first, and anybody else left over say, okay, what?
And Las Vegas is where the Lakers and Golden State and the Clippers are. So why move them?
They'll be in their region of where they're at like conference. They'll stick them right.
Las Vegas is nothing but a suburb of Los Angeles, so it doesn't make sense to move them. And plus you got the Raiders and the other kind of. I guess homegirl finally got her wish. She actually wanted to move Dallas to Las Vegas. So I guess that's probably why they're adding a Las Vegas team to actually pacify her. So she'll probably sell the Dallas team to somebody else because she was actually trying to move Dallas to Las Vegas, where her casino. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So obviously Dallas Mavericks are going to be the Maverick Vegas. Really want to call it.
Yeah.
Las Vegas Mavericks, or they might even change the whole logo. I think they're going to change the whole logo.
No. What I'm saying, the Mavericks will probably stay in Dallas. She'll probably sell the team, and she'll just get in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Unless I haven't read it. I don't think they're moving Dallas to Las Vegas. At least not that I heard.
Yeah, but I think that was the rumor speculating why they didn't want to pay Luka a serious amount, because they really want to get rid of that team from Dallas to go somewhere else.
Yeah, they wanted to crash the team so she could actually move it.
That was told Jen from that is the rumor, and that's why.
No, it's true. That's true. She admitted it, so it's not even a rumor.
So a lot of people get mad, and say you got rid of Luka, why? And then it says a business move. It's my business.
Yeah, she was pissed off at the league, so that's one reason why she did it.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day, man. Personally, yeah. I mean, because remember, you want to be profitable at the end, and you want to go to a market that's really, really profitable. Las Vegas. But my thing, because already there's a problem with gambling. How much more now people gonna have to think? Obviously,
the thing is, they already got past that. The thing is, Vegas is small, but the thing is, she got the money to actually pay for the team to move. That's why she's doing it.
Okay. Yeah. Makes more sense. They want the Eastern teams all East.
They want all Eastern teams east of the Mississippi. They do, but the thing is, they have to balance out the number of teams in each conference.
Yeah, because there's 32 teams, and out of that math, if my math is right, I think 16.
Yeah, that's so somebody's got to move.
Yeah, somebody has to move because everything has to be 16 on one side, 16 on the other side.
That's why. So somebody's got to move. That's
yeah. We all know the Timberwolves gonna move, and the second team is gonna be between, like you said, either Dallas or.
They're not. It'll probably be Memphis. Dallas has a rivalry with Houston and San Antonio. So they're probably
right now. Way how the Spurs playing, I said it's going to take a lot of building.
You're not going to break up a age or rivalry with trifecta teams. They're not going to move them. That's why they didn't let her move the team to Las Vegas.
Okay,
that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're not gonna see the effect of this expansion till like 2-4 years down the
line. Depends. They could do it. They could do it.
We're 2026 now. They agree.
They could do it in 2028. They could do it in 2028 if they want to.
Okay, I think that would be the best time to do it.
Yeah. If Vegas and Seattle get new teams, yeah. So she'll probably sell Dallas then, and start up a new team. Because she's been trying to get a team in Vegas for a while, so they'll probably force her to sell it to somebody else, and then she'll buy the team in Vegas.
So you think Mark Cuban wanted to get back involved, or he just playing sideline?
No, he's just playing sideline. Okay, he don't want to get back involved. He's too old.
Okay.
Yeah. Mark Cuban wants to actually get into politics. That's his next move.
I don't know what he's waiting for. He better get in it now while it's hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, motherfuckers running at 80 years old, man. He got time. Okay.
How old is he now? He's like in his late 60s? I think I got the.
I don't think he's that old. I think he's like in his late 50s, I think.
Hey, man.
We got fogey fighters out there.
He needs to get in it next 10 years, man. Don't get old like these dudes and get senile.
The thing is, Trump is not senile. Okay.
No.
I ain't seen it.
Sharp as shit, actually.
He's crazy, but he's not senile.
No, he's pretty sharp, you know.
He's sharp.
So
I saw him give a speech today. He remembered a whole bunch of people that from back in the day and stuff like that. So he's not senile, but
You know, if I give Trump a lot of credit because he keeps up on the grind, that's why he's not losing a step. Like some people that's like politicians, where he has to work to get his money.
It's genetics. It's genetics. That's all it is. Okay. Biden's been fading for a long time, so so it's just genetics.
Okay.
Hell, you got Nancy Pelosi, damn near 90. Okay, she is 90.
Is she 90? Damn.
She is 90, and she's still rolling. So it's just
she's retiring after this year. So whatever.
She should retire after this year, man. Let it go.
I mean, Jesus came back for a third time.
Yeah,
dang.
She said, I still got some more work to do. I'm going to die.
No, the thing is, if you've been in the Congress for so long, you got a certain amount of power. You actually don't want to give up your spot. The next guy has to start at the bottom. That's why. That's why.
Anti-Maxine and
Anti-Maxine
is still in there.
She's 87. That's why she's still there.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch.
Yeah, anorexic Ninja Turtle.
Seniority means a lot in Congress.
Yeah, especially when you get on those committees.
Yeah, we got about 30 more minutes, guys. Get your questions in if you want to get them answered.
And,
I just now remember.
If anybody want, I could do an after show.
I just now remember, BJ's. Good old Anton Dance had a conversation with Stephen A. Smith today.
Okay, good for him.
And it turned out kind of was unusual, but it is a good look for him.
Anton's not smart enough, actually, not in his league, but
not in his league. You're right about that. Yeah.
But it's good for Anton. He gets publicity.
And he needs a boost at the.
And I'm sure Stephen A. needs a boost too. That's why he did it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying. They're trying to get into the YouTube game. So, what did they talk about? What did they talk about?
Bueller.
Anybody else?
How you gonna shut up after he told us about it?
You probably got to go back and look it up. What's up, Louis?
Here at work.
Here
at work.
With the Generation Z, huh?
Yeah. The only good thing is food ain't go up no higher over here. I don't know what it is by y'all. So
now we have to see, man, because Trump bragged about those Pakistani tankers getting out, and the next one in, Iran hit it. So, and also you get this big spike up in oil. So we have to see.
And then I know you got that big fire in Nebraska with all the cattle, and then in Iowa it was a fire with that affect the eggs. Hold on 1 second.
That's a guy's trying to tell you something. Huh?
No.
Yeah, I got one of my workers that needs something. I hit you right back.
All right.
So let's tell who called that pick up a player motherfucker. I've just looked at it, and I'll say this because I guess I'll do a follow-up show after yours.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't talk about, always talk about warfare. I'm like, I really have to say this. A lot of content creators in the Black Manosphere spoils a lot of their subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows because you can literally give the question or the answer 12 different ways to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told people about when you go through combat, it's the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't come back the same way you were.
No, you shouldn't.
It's impossible.
If you're in combat, you're not. Okay,
Especially you're not.
Especially go to someplace like Ukraine or Vietnam, you can't come back the same way.
No, you can't. It's going to change you. And it's like I told this one chick, she wanted to debate about should black children join the military. I said, what other options do you have for them? We're not exactly we don't have groups of money that has money for our kids to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
We're not known for that. I said, most of your houses that you got in the black community, a good amount of them,
Yeah, it came from
the VA loan.
VA loans. Yeah, they did.
And you got to think, one of the quickest ways throughout history to get to the senator's class,
Yeah,
a congressional class, was through the military.
It's been that way since Rome. Yeah.
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 And she was like, well, what about them dying? I said, one, people don't die like that anymore. Two, if somebody does die, most of you got to do a GoFundMe for that kid.
The thing is, and what people don't know, only 1 in 7 people actually fight in the military.
Yeah, only 15% fights.
Yeah. The rest is support.
Oh, what did they die? I said, why are we going to talk to? And it gets so.
Okay, but the thing is, Charles, they won't let them go to the military, but they actually put them out on the street to actually sell drugs. Come on now.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, how many of you would actually put your kids out there, don't have a plan for them, don't have a future for them, but you allow that motherfucker to sell drugs in and out your house?
In and out your house, yeah. That's why it's a matriarchy. That's how come. That's how come. What's his name? Wanted to actually get them away from the women.
Mm-hmm.
Moynihan, he actually wanted to get the black boys and black males away from the women, and the women wouldn't have it. They're still not having it. Okay, they still fight it.
Why y'all want our boys? Especially their boys, because you need a dreadnought. You know what a dreadnought is? It's like it's a juggernaut who can't think for themselves.
Yeah. But the thing, that's why I've given up, man. You got all these women; they're still saying the same shit they've been saying for 100 years, man. They ain't changed, okay?
And it gets old.
That's why. So that's what asking me. Why? I said, what reason can you give a man or boy to get married in this day and age? Okay, she couldn't give one. Tradition. Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead.
Hey, Charles. They're afraid for their sons to go fight in a war, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're totally fine with them engaging in warfare on the street. And excuse, well, they could die or come out messed up. Like, do you know how much trauma people go through in prison? Because if you engage in an illegal activity, most likely you're going to get incarcerated.
Yeah.
And that's where the real savagery happens in prison. But you're fine with that.
And here's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that little motherfucker's making money, that's why they'll put more money in their AAU basketball football program than their shooting.
It's because AAU is the entertainment.
Yeah, and it's funny because she's hoping that motherfucker can run a ball 100 yards down the field or put one through a hoop. And it didn't dawn on my ex till sometime later, the one who called you VHS.
Yeah.
She was sitting next to her daughter. She was watching her daughter's basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
And she was sitting next to a mom.
A who? A model?
Mom.
A mom. Okay.
Try not to cough, but here we go. But while she was watching her daughter, viewing everything, she's listening to the chick. Come on, you gotta get the ball. You gotta get this. You gotta move. You gotta pump fake. I didn't put all that money. I didn't put $2,000 in your coaching and your AAU games for this.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I remember the conversation we had, what you said about black women investing in the wrong things for their boys. And she said, I felt so damn stupid. She said, I had to apologize to you.
Okay. Hey, May, who told you those are incentives for men? Okay.
Why don't you ask the man?
I want you to ask the man what incentives are, okay?
But Charles, you got to keep in mind, a lot of black women use their sons to hopefully that they're gonna make it big and buy them a goddamn house.
No. The thing is, they don't want to be by themselves. I mean, this goes all the way back to the slave farm, right? Okay. They let the women go and find their own family, but they actually hold on to the boys for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And boys are actually more valuable than the women are. That's why they hold on to them.
Huh. That girl ain't gonna come and defend her in the middle of the night.
Mm.
That girl ain't gonna take the wayward ass nigga and beat them up.
Okay. So May, if those are incentives for women, how come women have the lowest marriage rate of all women? Why is that? If those are incentives for women, how come they don't practice what they preach? Anyway,
it gets to the point where y'all gotta give a fuck about the community more than we do. Because you're the ones who got the kids, right? You wanted the kids. You keep telling these stories about, oh, the black men are dangerous. I said, I
Hey,
beg your pardon.
Charles.
Go ahead.
You know what's funny and ironic though? Like, and I can only speak for here. I see more black females that all the time in the store that be in uniform, that is a National Guard or they're in the Army.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you don't have the mothers really discouraging the daughters because they know that's a gateway to get the GI Bill and get higher education.
Because it's money.
It's money. Money. But yet, this has been the logic of the slave farm. Make the boy strong physically, make him weak mentally.
Okay. I'm not even gonna get into it with you because that's why I call you pedestrian, okay?
What did she say?
If black women don't want to get married or have kids, leave black men the fuck alone. Stop bothering us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The incentive for men was that you actually got somebody who was a benefit, not a hassle.
Yeah.
The incentive for men was you were going to help raise proper children. You know, we got a bunch of fucking gender bending, barely can read, disorderly, juveniles, delinquents, and a bunch of future whores of America.
Yeah. MS Delta, there's a book, there's a paper called the Negro, was it the, I think it was, is it Negro Problem? I think it was a Negro Problem. Mohawk Conference of 1890 on the Negro Problem, okay? They said then in 1890 that black men didn't have to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an ingrained belief coming back from the slave farm that black boys and men don't have to be educated.
Remember when we did that show about Dr. Dargetto?
Yes.
Remember how shocked people were when we read some of the manuscripts? Like people were shocked about, and that book came out when? 40s?
Dark Ghetto 65.
Yeah. And it's like, you got to think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the book comes out 65, that means they've been doing research for 20 years.
W. Maker, the black community, black men never had control of the black community. Okay, the white men put the community in the hands of women in 1750. Okay, black men have never controlled the black community ever.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this question. W. Maker, at what point? Shit.
The link is in the chat. If you want to come up and defend yourself, May, you're welcome. Okay, as long as you stay on task. Okay, go ahead, Charles. Finish. You there? I guess you got a cough. Go ahead, Dr. Goodbar.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, everyone? Yeah, I'm just listening to the proceedings here, and I'm trying to gather my thoughts together. You know, if you guys, I know the guys on the panel, they've probably seen it, but those in the chat, if you should have watched the end of my first discussion with Dr. Ronald Neal.
Okay.
And I don't know why this is so hard. I don't know why this is so hard to fathom that. BGS, you said this thing is so far gone anyway that it can't be salvaged. But if you have one gender going one way and the other gender going the other way, then you can't salvage anything. if you have a conflicting view of what family is and what community is, then you can't salvage anything.
Yeah, and you know what, the 2024 election actually highlighted exactly what we're saying. Okay, they highlighted it to the T that black women expect black men to get in line and follow them to the T. Okay, regardless of what we want. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, and I was listening to when May came up earlier. I think something everybody should also think about the fact that women view children differently than we do.
Yes.
They view children as burdens. They view children as hindrances.
Yes.
To their traveling, to their going to brunch, to their living their best lives. The women look at the resources differently. The resources are for them and their disposal. They're not for the family.
They're for women. The resources are actually for the women and the children, and not for the men.
Not for the men, master teacher, but it just seems like there's just a conflicting view on the resources that are made, what those resources should be used for, and it's not for the common good.
No, it's not.
It's not.
But that is the environment that this country actually promoted, going back to 1970. And not a family thing; it's an individual thing.
Yeah, and I based upon what I know now, after being in the company of you guys and just listening to everything, I don't see how a man could knowingly walk into a situation where whomever the woman is, unless she loves his dirty drawers.
He's been socialized. He's been socialized to. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't see how a man now understanding what's going on could walk into something like that.
The socialization is actually losing its grip. That's what they're upset about. The state and women.
Yeah, but to Dr. John Barr's point, I go back to that video with Sha'Carri Richardson. You're not going to lie on me to the police like that and think we're going to be in a relationship. That's just not going to happen.
And they're still in a relationship. The thing is, and Dr. T is actually showing that, right? She's beating on him and still blaming him for her getting arrested. Like he's supposed to save her. Same thing happened with the blue leashing, where this mother actually called the police on her son and said he had a gun. And he was trying to save her. He's trying to say, well,
even the police officer said, I could have shot you, man.
Yeah, he could have shot. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. I got to save mama.
Dr. T is doing God's work.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are, for me, Dr. T was the first to uncover that this partner violence goes both ways. Other people are talking about it now. But this is just a crazy construct that we're living in, that it's not talked about, that women kill men.
Yeah, black women have been doing that for centuries, man. The thing is, the narrative is that black men are always wrong. It doesn't matter.
Well, do you see Dr. T's video today on does anybody look up check up on dad?
Yeah. And most men, fathers don't really expect their kids to check up on them. They don't. Women will keep want to stay attached, but men, as long as you're good, most men will say, okay, I'm good with it. Okay, no matter what. If I die alone, I die alone. Most men are good with it.
Yeah. I mean, Master Teacher, I have a quick question, and I'll get out of the way.
Okay.
So individuals, boomers like you and Black Uberu, you guys are kind of in the know of all this stuff. Would you, for your age cohort, your group, would you say that you and Black Uberu, you guys are in the minority?
In the minority
in terms of knowing all this, seeing how this matrix is actually working.
Oh yeah, the thing is that most guys in my cohort are still brainwashed. Okay.
Okay.
They can't let go of it.
Okay.
Their bits and pieces will come out like guys. The guys been around as far as like tricking and stuff like that. Black men know what it is. Okay, they don't care about that. Okay. So there's a lot of things that they actually know and will admit, but they'll actually do it on air.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I for the last 2 to 3 weeks I've been helping my father recover from an operation.
Okay.
And I've been driving him around and I've been playing Dr. T. I've been playing several different things for him. He's just gotten quiet.
Yeah.
You know, because I think you know, I love my father, but I think he's had this well, you're never gonna find
his eyes.
Yeah, you're never gonna find anybody perfect. There's nobody perfect out there for you.
In other words, you had to man up and bear it.
Yeah,
God gonna work it out for you in the end.
Yeah.
No. Basically, it's your job as a man to stand up to it and take it, whether it works out or not. You know it's not gonna work out, but that's
I'm just saying God's gonna work it out in the end.
No.
Well, my dad's like super Christian Baptist minister and stuff like that.
Okay, he's a Baptist minister.
He comes at it from that angle. Like,
well, your dad does because he's a minister. I'm telling you, as a boomer, okay, that's not what it is. Okay.
No, I'm saying from my dad's a boomer. My dad's a couple years younger than you, BGS.
Yeah.
So he's coming at it from that angle.
Yeah, but he's not the majority. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But he comes at it from a biblical angle. But he is that, like, I see how my mom treats him sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, that she don't like you. She disrespects you. He's like, you know, I love your mother, and you know, this is for the family, and just pray for your family, all of that stuff.
It's for the family, and the way I was raised, the way I was reared. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, family first. It's called a covenant marriage. Okay, it don't matter. My mother, my aunt and uncle did the same shit. Okay, doesn't matter. Family stays together no matter what. That's what they believe in.
She talked to that nigga like a dog, BGS.
Well, she been doing that. He know what he got into.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He know what he married. Okay.
Is that your biological mother?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Black women are some of the worst, man. I mean, pop the balloon is just the tip of the iceberg. How black women actually talk about you.
Well, I'll share this with you guys as well. You know, now that I know a lot of this stuff, I do go back and ask my father about his dating life after he and my mother split up. He and my mother split up when I was 3. Mm-hmm. So the one word I could tell you about some of the things he's told me about his post-divorce relationships, bloody, just bloody, just.
Oh yeah, the thing is, man, I met some of them gynocrats from your hometown, man, and they are truly gynocrats, man.
Okay,
they are a trip. Okay.
What's funny to me is, like, I think my dad growing up, he liked white women, right? But I think he made a concerted effort to marry a black woman and have kids with a black woman.
You know why? Did your dad like living?
Fair enough. I mean, he went to a PWI, so it's like, it's not like it couldn't have happened. But
does your dad like living?
That's fair. Yeah.
Ask Snowman. He's married to a white woman today. Guess what he gets? Okay.
He gets some bullshit for it.
Try that. You know, try that 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got married in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
My folks got
married
in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
That shit won't sweet back then.
Why you think the interracial marriage rate for black men back then was like 2%? Why do you think that is?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Y'all live in a different world, okay? Different environment.
You remember? All right, so there's a famous story about this couple that found.
May knock that shit off, okay?
Do you know there's a notable couple that was known back in the 50s for finding a UFO back in like
I heard about
upstate Maine, right? And the reason it didn't come out was because it was a black man and a white woman. It was like
I remember that. I remember that. Barney, what's his name?
Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah,
Barney and Betty Hill, something like that.
Barney and Betty Hill. That's very famous. Okay.
If you look at them, it's like they're both threes, and they found each other. So.
And most people didn't. I don't care if you're white, blonde hair, and blue eyes. If you got encounter UFO, that wasn't gonna come out.
Yeah.
May, knock it off, okay?
Well, I got a question for Dr. Goodbar.
Dr. Goodbar. We literally call him that. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, because I know you're familiar with Aaron Clary, right?
Yes, I hosted him.
He interviewed him, yeah,
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. I was actually YouTube suggested some of his videos, and he put some things up recently, kind of in the same vein of what we talk about here, along the lines of like maybe women just don't like men. Like, and if that's the case, then just say that. Well, like, at least now, right?
Well, but it's more nuanced than that, right?
Yeah.
They like certain men.
The thing is, what have they been socialized to like? Okay, women do like men. Okay, that's like when men start withdrawing and stop chasing them, they're crying. Why are they crying?
Yep.
Okay, guess what? My spiritual teacher told me a long time ago. Attention is food. Okay, when women die without male attention, they do. They love.
Yeah, they like men on their terms, but most men are not going to be on their terms all the time. Most of the time.
Well, but they've been taught that, that it's supposed to happen, quote unquote, on their terms. Like they've been taught that, even though they've never really seen evidence for their way of view, they still believe that it should still happen. Like, oh yeah, a man took me out on a $200 date. Ma'am, no man has ever spent more than $50 on you. But if you say it on the internet enough times, people are gonna believe what you say.
You know, back in the day, how all women introduced themselves to a man. You know how they did it?
You said like what they made a plate.
They made a plate of dinner and brought it to his house. Okay, not a $200 date. You got that. All that $200 date shit is new. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys adopted that. Okay. We didn't do that shit.
If you're making less than, let's say, $250,000 a year, you should not be doing $200 dates as a regular thing, unless that's your woman.
I don't care. I don't even care if you're making that money. Okay. You're actually promoting that kind of the transactional culture. Okay. Why would you go dating that? And the first time you meet this chick, you're spending $200. Okay. Makes no sense. Even the guys up there that can afford it are not doing that shit no more.
Yeah.
There's
more effective ways.
Well, somewhere in our socialization, this whole paradigm of you're supposed to impress her, you're supposed to show her a good time right off the bat.
1991, okay, when they got rid of gender roles, okay, they started calling people partners instead of husband and wife. Got rid of gender roles. That's when that shit started to happen. And I told the psychologists back then that this shit was not going to work. No, they'll get older. They'll figure it out. It's bullshit.
Human beings don't just figure things out. Like you have to give them direction.
You have to teach them. Okay, just like you can't walk. You can't learn. You'll never walk if nobody teaches you how to walk or talk.
Yeah.
Got to be taught.
They have this kind of like idea is very lazy, but the a priori synthetic judgment sort of thing, in psychology, that's a priori, like where there's the you're born with certain innate knowledge within you, and you just kind of discover it as you go through life. You discover this innate knowledge that you always had within your spirit, which is bullshit.
The thing is, okay, there's certain things that your ability to walk and talk is there, but somebody has to hook it up. Got to hook up the wire. The hardware is there.
But I'm saying, like, that model, it's just like the knowledge is just there for you to just one day be like, it's hit me, like I can now do this thing.
When does a woman become a woman, according to them?
I don't know.
When she gets her period and she has a baby, okay? A man becomes, a woman emerges, okay?
So is that why they infantilize all these women because they don't consider them women until they have children, and a lot of women aren't having
I mean,
children. So you can still be a,
well, basically, women had a role of taking care of children, okay? And they had a role, and their role is not their role has been infantilized because guess what? For the most part, we're good at women.
Not much.
Okay, I mean, take care of a house. You don't need her to take care of the fucking house no more. Okay,
Yeah,
or
I
cook,
hire a maid.
or clean.
they were never taught to do that. First of all, so
washing dishes, cooking, ironing clothes, all that kind of stuff. You don't need her for that.
No.
What do you need her for?
Sometimes you're better off beating your own shit in the middle of the night.
Well, I mean, like, look, I'll tell you this. I hire a cleaner to come to my place every week or 2 weeks. I hired somebody to bring me lunches because I can make breakfast, but like lunch during the middle of the day, I need that to be delivered. And then there's something else. I hire a masseuse, groundskeepers for like this is the HOA fee, right? That covers that. So like I don't even have to do the outdoor work, right? And then cleaning the car, all that type of stuff. And then you can go on what do you call it, seeking arrangements or sugar daddy meets or whatever, and you can hire a woman for that.
This nigga lived like Christian Grey.
Why do you think? Why do you think in the 1920s when women got the right to vote, there's two things they did? Okay, got rid of alcohol and got rid of the whole houses. Why do you think they did that?
because you would have lessened the reason to get married.
Increase the reason to get married. Yeah. Sex and wombs are actually more valuable to you,
and they know that inherently. They know that.
It's biologically built into you, okay? Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't make kids.
I'll say this. What's up, Dr. Goodbar? Long time no see. Gotta hook up and make some trouble.
If you go back, if you go back and look at this stuff, okay, that's why I'm actually going over the ERA, right? That they passed in 1972 and tried to get it as a constitutional amendment in '76. Why it didn't pass? The women killed that shit. The men didn't kill that. The women killed that shit because they don't want the rights of a man. They don't. It's bullshit. They don't want that.
They know that men go through shit they can't even fathom. So
because of the killed alimony and child support.
Yeah, with the new war stuff, because in Europe they're talking about like mandatory conscription, right? And they brought up the question here in the United States, and people. They're like, hell no, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that. I'm like, wait a minute. You can't.
Selective service? It was?
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, it never has been a purview of women to actually be part of selective service for the draft. Okay.
Well, we didn't have the social systems in place that we have in terms of like,
we still don't. We still don't.
We barely have women in the military.
How many people actually demand women actually go overseas and fight? In our culture,
not many,
none. Show me one. Show me anybody.
Show me one female that fought in combat.
Show me anybody demanding that females go fight in combat. Or become a police officer or a fireman. Nobody. Okay.
What do you think? I'm gonna ask this question to everybody here on the panel and chat.
Mm-hmm.
Would you live in a city where there's all female police officers?
Hell no.
And would they live in a city where there's all female police officers?
I know a lot of officers by virtue of my job, and they're like, the data shows that they shoot first. They are all Han Solo. Them niggas shoot first and don't ask questions.
It's because they can't physically go into a conflict with a man. That's why they shoot.
Let me tell you what it really is. They don't even do that. That's bullshit. A lot of them too scared. A lot of them wouldn't even get out the fucking car. Don't believe that bullshit.
Yeah, out of the car?
Y'all forget who the fuck.
They're inherently scared.
Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead, Charles. Let Charles finish, and then you can go.
Next, y'all need to give me the same respect as Dr. T. This is what the fuck I did for 2 decades.
Man, just talk your shit, man. Go ahead. Stop all the sidebars.
But in all seriousness, most of those females don't get out the cars. They're not going to get out their car till you come.
Yeah, they're not. They won't. It's true. They won't.
Most of them are not. When the fucking first time you seen a female chase down a drug dealer? How many females do you see on SWAT?
You know why chicks become cops is because it pays well.
It pays well, and the first thing they do is get pregnant, so they can sit on that desk for a year, plus
And then try to
maternity,
get promoted. Yeah.
and then they're eligible in 3 years. So she's already done. Excuse me. She's already done a year. Then another year, 3 years, she's able to take the sergeant's test. Hasn't stepped one foot on the street yet.
Mm-hmm.
And is that fair? Now let's look at this, right? You don't see them getting into the thick of it because they have a different view of fighting. Oh, we had to fight this guy.
We go about 20 more minutes, guys, and we're gonna jump out. Go ahead, Charles.
Was he dropping his weight, or was he trying to take a hit off? Because that's the difference in a fight. Now, when you look at the female officers, let's tell the truth. It's like the female military members. A lot of them slept their ways to a lot of stuff. So
yeah, oh yeah,
that's what say that.
That's it's because that's the easy way to get promoted. And then if they don't get their way, then they try to do a Me Too on your ass. Okay,
you got one female already in the department, from what I heard from Buddy still in. She's federally indicted for overtime fraud. Just made lieutenant. Yeah, she's defrauded the government anywhere from $1,000 to $25,000. And guess what they're gonna do? Make an example out of her black ass. So once again, would you go to a city where there's all female fire department? Anybody?
No, we would.
How about no?
Yeah.
Would you drop your kids off to an all male daycare center?
Oh dear.
Would I would, but most women won't. Yeah.
Why? Because what's the stigma of all male daycares or men in education?
For women, they're gonna be touched or molested or something like that. That's
even though we find out what you getting touched more by a female.
Well, the thing is, if the thing is that it was all because teachers used to be all male. Okay.
Yeah.
But women were actually cheaper. That's how come they substituted them with females. But the thing is that if it was a little girl, no, probably not. Okay.
Oh.
If it's a boy, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, because
Drop the little Negro off.
Stigmas.
He's gonna be a man. Yeah.
So don't believe that shit. We could do everything equally.
Okay. It's a question for Charles and Louis. What do you guys think about Joe Kent resigning from a military perspective?
I feel nothing.
Okay. Well, Louis?
Nothing really.
Okay. The thing is, militarily, you disagree with the whole mission. That's why he resigned. I mean, just like the other generals did too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. I'm not going to feel bad for a guy who's going to make $300,000 in his fucking pension.
Yeah,
he's not losing. He didn't lose a job. He gained. He's probably going to end up being a consultant for insert this Middle Eastern country here.
Yeah,
become a millionaire. So
yeah.
I'm not bad for him
if he's not already a millionaire.
If he's not already.
Yeah.
He's already set up his retirement packet.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you disagree with the commander in chief, you resign. That's why he resigned.
Hey, master teacher.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask this question, then I'll drop because I know you're trying to wind down, and I know that there's probably a limited amount you could say about this here.
Okay. Yeah.
But this thing is this over energy?
It's 2 words called a petrodollar.
Okay.
It's over. Okay. And the Wolfowitz what's called a doctrine, contain China. That's what it's about. Those 2 things.
Okay.
In fact, I was going to play it. Trump thought that he had an insider that would actually take over. It didn't happen. That's why he did what he did. The gamble didn't pay off. So now we're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's been trying to get a ceasefire for the last 4 weeks. because the original plan didn't work.
Okay.
But Iran won't let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that's a short answer. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah. I put it into Gemini like 2 weeks ago to see what Gemini said about what are we doing. And it listed out some bullet points for me. But I know there's limited. We probably shouldn't.
I was gonna play this, and I think I'll play this for you because they are saying pretty much the same thing I was getting ready to say. I think it's about 8 minutes. So I'll speed it up a little bit. Okay. He actually thought he could do the same thing in Venezuela. There in Iran, they did in Venezuela. I think Venezuela was actually a test run for this, but Trump used Venezuela as a blueprint for Iran.
Wow.
Everybody still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I thought he was going to play something. But
Can y'all hear it? Yeah, y'all can hear it. Okay.
No, I can't hear it.
Okay. Hold on, I thought I was playing it. Okay, it's this one. Okay.
Because he was so pleased with the way that things went in Venezuela, with this idea of sort of half-hearted regime change, this idea that you could take out Maduro and put someone in the place who is more amenable and more likely to do your bidding. It's thought that that's what Trump really wanted to do in Iran, to get rid of the very top leadership and then have someone come up who was much easier to deal with. But of course, that's not been the case in Iran. Very different country to Venezuela.
Now, the captured former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro has been in court in New York. Maduro and his wife were captured by those U.S. forces from his compound in Caracas during a nighttime raid in January. And Harriet Alexander, U.S. reporter, can tell us more. Hello to you, Harriet.
Hi, John.
Hi, thanks for coming. Tell us more about this court case or the court appearance this morning.
So this court appearance is the first time since he was first brought to New York back in January. It was a procedural hearing, but it's quite an interesting one because Maduro's lawyers are arguing that the case should ultimately be thrown out because there is no guarantees that the lawyers will be paid. The lawyers are saying that they need the U.S. government to allow Maduro to access Venezuelan government funds so that he can pay for his legal defense. But of course, at present, Nicolas Maduro is sanctioned. Back in February, they tried to overturn these sanctions to let Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, access the funds so that they could pay for the legal defense, and that was blocked. And so this court hearing was essentially about whether the defense can be paid for.
And just take us into the courtroom, as it were, Harriet. What did you see in there? What was it like, the appearance of this man?
Yeah, so Maduro was there with his wife. They are both charged with this drug trafficking conspiracy charges. They were dressed in prison outfits, in the prison jumpsuits. They both had headphones on because, of course, the proceedings are all in English. And it's unclear how much English they actually speak. Not a lot, we don't think. So they were having the proceedings translated. They were taking notes. They looked fairly healthy, fairly well. They were both quite alert. Maduro's son, Nicolasito, he is in Caracas, and he's actually he's charged alongside his father. He's of course not been arrested, but he's on the indictment. Yes. He said his father is exercising regularly, is on good form, is optimistic and positive about the future.
And meanwhile, about the country that Maduro left behind when he was captured, I mean, the President Trump, seems to be very positive about the state of the relationship with Maduro's successor and that country.
Yes, incredibly so. I mean, Delcy Rodriguez is the person who is now leading the country. Trump seems quite thrilled by her. They've reopened the U.S. embassy in Caracas, which had been shuttered back since 2019.
Strange how that shit happens, huh?
with the disputed election. And of course, they are making deals about the oil, which has always very much been at the heart of this. They've never really made any secret about this. And it's interesting, John, because the success of this raid to capture Maduro back in January is seen as being very key to Donald Trump's thinking about Iran, because he was so pleased with the way that things went in Venezuela, with this idea of sort of half-hearted regime change, this idea that you could take out Maduro and put someone in the place who is more amenable and more likely to do your bidding. It's thought that that's what Trump really wanted to do in Iran, to get rid of the very top leadership and then have someone come up who was much easier to deal with. But of course, that's not been the case in Iran. Very different country to Venezuela.
Indeed. Really grateful for that, Harriet. Thank you. Harriet Alexander, the US reporter. Now, Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, has been delivering the annual NATO report. The Secretary General said the alliance had seen a significant increase in defence spending, with a 20% increase this year alone from Europe and Canada. He added that NATO wouldn't have hit defence spending goals without the US and President Trump.
I've said it before. I don't believe that with the present American administration, the whole of NATO would have been reaching the 2% at the end of 2025. Take some big economies like Spain and Italy and Belgium and Canada, who are far from the 2% mark. They all got to the 2%. And this is bringing billions and billions of euros/dollars to spend on defense. Without the present administration in the United States and the present president, I don't think we would ever have reached this commitment to spend 5% of our GDP on defense, including the 3.5% on core defense.
Well, he also said that Trump and America were the only one doing anything to degrade Iran's nuclear capabilities.
The alliance, NATO, has for some time been clear, even before I became Secretary General, that Iran cannot possess a nuclear weapon. And NATO has also long recognized the threat Iran's missile program posed to allies and their interests. And what the United States is currently doing is degrading those capabilities, both the nuclear and the missile.
But in Washington, Donald Trump has been speaking too. He spoke of his disappointment in NATO, as he put it, lack of involvement in the Iran war.
And I'll say it publicly, we're very disappointed with NATO because NATO has done absolutely nothing. And I've always said 25 years ago, I mean, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly, that we'll come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours.
And then, of course, is Donald Trump speaking earlier. Let's get the thoughts of Victor Jack, the Politico NATO reporter. Hello to you, Victor.
Hi, John. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. What did you make of this event today? There was Mark Rutte speaking very positively about America as a leading power in the alliance, which of course it is, and the fact that it spurred higher spending on defence across the alliance, which is a lot of truth in that too. But a lot of the members there in that room have a very different view now of the relationship, don't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think when you look at sort of the Rutte strategy here over the past few weeks, I mean, there's a big discrepancy between how allies within NATO see Rutte's strategy and also how allies and governments outside of NATO see the strategy. So, I mean, there is this kind of prevailing sense, I think, within some European capitals that Rutte is very much overstepping his mandate here. You know, he's defending Trump in a war that some countries, including Germany, see as illegal and against international law. But I think there is a bit of a difference in terms of how Rutte is seen by the same sorts of governments inside NATO. Fundamentally, we have to remember that he was elected on a mandate of being the Trump whisperer. I think there was an understanding that ultimately his number one goal is to stop Trump from blowing the alliance apart. And so I think that there is a little bit of kind of leeway and flexibility for him there in terms of, you know, going beyond his sort of traditional mandate as long as it sticks, keeps the alliance together. And I think what Rutte is trying to do here is to preempt criticism from Trump towards NATO. It's not working very well, but he, alongside the UK, corralled together this statement, which is now signed by over 30 countries, saying that they will do what they can and contribute appropriate efforts to reopening the Strait of Hormuz near Iran. And I think the aim of that really was to be able for Rutte to present this statement to Trump and say, look, allies are behind you fundamentally, and to stop Trump from following through on some of his previous threats of withdrawing from the alliance or considering a different role for the US within the alliance.
Victor, thank you so much for that update. Victor Jack from Politico.
All right. Basically, they're agreeing with what I'm saying. In fact, I was reading other stuff that is saying precisely the same thing, because there was a split in the upper levels of government in Iran. So I think they're actually betting on somebody on the inside. So there's a secret, what he calls a secret friend inside Iran. That's where those Pakistani tankers came from. So keep an eye on it.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me up. You know, when I think about this, and all the people who say, well, if Kamala Harris got in there, we wouldn't be doing this. I think if she just ran a campaign that was inclusive to men, she'd probably be in there. We wouldn't be doing this.
The thing is, there's several books written by her. Okay, about the campaign. Okay, the Democrats made a mistake. They knew that Joe probably couldn't run. That's how come they didn't have anybody run against him. Okay, because they thought they could actually put Trump in jail. When that didn't work, he had to actually run, and he couldn't run. Okay, then they were actually stuck. Kamala Harris could never have been president. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. So I don't care what she did, what she said, she was not going to get elected. Yeah. Everybody knew that. Okay, she was a long shot at best. They put $3 billion that you put her in. It didn't work. So she was a long shot. In fact, go back. Her own campaign team said the exact same thing that I'm saying. It's not new. They took over the press. They lied about the polls, all kind of shit to actually get her in. It didn't work. She was never going to get in. So, and it was a mistake by the Democrats by trying to hold on to the neocons under Biden. It didn't work.
How much money would they give her a campaign?
About $3 billion, give or take.
And you could have gave me $30,000. I at least could have got him to the president of the homeowners association or some shit.
Oh, you're not in like that. In fact, that's how come she can't run. Is because she's squandered that money, and without accounting, that's how come she can't run for anything else. Okay?
She can't even run for Crockett.
That's how come Jasmine Crockett couldn't get no money, okay, because of the shit like that. So,
yeah. So all this talk of her going in 2028, that's all smoke.
I mean, if she can find backers, okay, that she in fact, 2028, she's not even on the list as far as governor. Talking about president? No, hell no. She can't even run for governor in California. That's how bad it is.
You should call Jasmine Crockett her new nickname, the Crockett Rocket.
Crotchet Rocket, probably.
The crash.
Master, thanks for having me up.
All right.
You guys have a good night.
Anybody else before we get out of here?
I'm doing a after show if anybody wants.
Go, man. Before we get out of here, man, go ahead and put it up there and put the link in before we get out of here.
Yeah, guard your image, guard your peace, keep it moving.
And hey, let the bear eat her, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't try to save her. Don't try to save her.
Send them to the wolves, gentlemen.
The wolves are bad, but the bears are worse. Feed her to the bear. Okay. What's up, James? Real quick.
I agree with that, but a lot of these women, they like to play Care Bear with the bears, so they like to hug on.
Good for them. Good for them. You know,
and it tells you that they're very much receptive to.
Good for them. I at this point, I do not give a shit if it makes them happy.
I want a bear so soft. I say
good for her. Okay, I don't give a shit what she does at this point. Okay, good for her. Playing with the bears makes you happy. Go for it, baby, all day long.
Give it a nice French kiss.
Yeah, I don't care. You French kiss him, braid his hair, comb his hair. Right his back. I don't give a shit what you do with him, man. Go over there. Stop fucking with me. Go ahead, James.
No, I was gonna say, man. I mean, I don't. From what I see, a lot of these sisters don't realize how high this unemployment is going to be for them. And we seeing brothers getting chopped, man. I was just listening to some analysts, and they're saying, obviously, war escalates. We could see close to 10% unemployment.
The black unemployment was 20% in 1980. Okay, 20%. 20%
about that.
Okay, 20%, and we haven't seen that shit in almost 50 years. Okay, 20%. Was a damn near depression level unemployment. Okay.
Wow.
20%.
It again. So all you millennials and Gen Z that actually want to live at the same time that the boomers did, get ready. You're gonna see it.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna like it.
I mean, BJ's, I can tell as millennial man, the comfortability that I'm seeing, no sense of urgency, no sense of like, even I got a little family group, and it's like I'm the only one that's like, hey guys, like, yo, get prepared. Let's, Let's figure something out. and it's like they just running through the motions.
They don't know, man, because my folks came from sharecroppers, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to work and plant, so we knew what that shit was, okay.
Yeah.
We knew, I've been chased by white men in shotguns, so I know what the fuck that feels like. They don't. Okay, I didn't want my kids to know that my life, okay.
Mm.
So they weren't prepared for this shit. But guess what? Doesn't matter. Nature does not care. Life does not care. If you're not prepared, if you die, they don't. Nature does not give a shit whether you survive or not.
That's true.
It doesn't give a shit. Okay, if you don't make it, you don't make it. Somebody else will.
Simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
And if you're not prepared, you don't care about your future. Good for you.
Yeah.
And like you said, like some of these sisters, man, they just, they think they're gonna be able to ride this wave. And,
Okay.
like you said,
I'll pray for you. That's all I can say. I'll pray for you. Other than that, I ain't got nothing for you.
Oh, about the housing, that broadcast today, like I said, BJ, a lot of millennials going to continue to complain till the wheels fall off. And it's sad.
Okay, if this shit goes left, the wheels will fall off very rapidly, but you won't like to see it when it happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm looking at even where I'm at. People are still buying properties at these high levels.
Okay.
And I'm saying to myself, I'm just being observant. Like I'm like, the way this thing can turn out, like you said, BJS, right? We don't know, but we have a feeling this is gonna get ugly.
It's already ugly. It's just going to get uglier. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all Trump did was put gasoline on the fire. That's all he did. But this shit,
that kerosene is. Whew.
We just haven't felt the effects yet because it hasn't gotten to us yet. Okay.
Because I actually have one cousin. He lives in Australia. It's bad. It's bad, BJS.
Yeah.
No gas. Like
The thing we're net oil exporter. That's it hasn't hit us yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it will. It will.
Some shape, some way.
Oh, the thing is, a lot of our food is actually imported. It's not. It doesn't come from here. Okay? You're gonna feel it. All you gamers, okay? Your gaming consoles and shit like that are already going up.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a chip shortage.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff getting ready to happen. So just get ready.
If you didn't buy your system now, you're gonna have to pay now.
Fuck that system. You better buy food.
You better. The thing is, we better hope that it doesn't cause a bank collapse. Okay, nobody wants to see that shit.
Yeah.
That's one thing, BJS. I totally agree with you. I hope they do whatever it takes. I don't care if you got to tell these hoes, man, scrub toilets, sell ass. Don't let them banks collapse.
So somebody says it's $6.50 per gallon in Oakland. Okay. Yep.
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 We ain't even hit Memorial Day weekend. I'm just waiting to see what's going.
The issue is not consumer fuel. Keep an eye on diesel. That's your marker. That's your marker. Okay. That's what actually shut down your economy. Diesel.
Diesel for trucks.
Man, you saw how many brothers right now selling their big 2,500 diesels, the whole nine, everything.
Yeah.
Still owe car notes for like 30,000.
The thing is, I said, if Trump can't settle this within 2 to 4 weeks, okay, issues are going to happen, okay, and basically, Pakistan thought that Iran was playing, okay. We rerouted those ships to the United States, okay. They said, okay, good for you, okay. The next one tried to get out of there, got hit. They're not playing. They're not playing. If you ramp this shit up, okay, and start hitting our oil infrastructure, okay, you're gonna have to deal with this for the next 5 to 10 years. They're not playing. Okay, so you guys hope that these fools will get their act together, and settle this shit, man, without this stuff going up in smoke. Okay, you saw the same shit in Ukraine. Ukraine was a small instance compared to this one. And everybody told him, do not start this, and he started it anyway. Okay, because he thinks he's smarter than everybody. It's him and Netanyahu. The smartest in the game. Okay, the game just started to bite them in the ass right now.
The game is the game, gentlemen.
Game is always the game. James will tell you.
Yeah, the game is all. You can't cheat the game, man.
Yeah. Anyway, any other questions before I get out of here?
Go to bed, old man. It's time.
All right.
And give us an African if you can.
Pass the bunts, nigga.
Pass the what?
Pass the bunts, nigga.
I'll see you guys on Sunday. Okay. And pray for them troops going to hit the ground over the weekend, man. Pray for them.
Oh yeah. And by the way, the links in the chat. Pray that they don't hit the ground, and pray that a lot of y'all hit my cash app. Woo!
Pray for your troops hitting the ground, man, because they don't deserve this shit. Okay. They didn't ask for this. Nobody did. Exactly. That's like Kent left. Kent said nobody asked for this shit.
Here's the link again. Boom.
Is America going to invest in a massive fleet of drones? They could, but the thing is, okay, who's the biggest drone maker on the planet?
China.
By a factor of 100. You're not gonna catch them.
China.
Yeah. Doctor, we'll have to chat about that. Why Pakistan thought they could actually get away with that bullshit. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why Pakistan tried that bullshit. Anyway, y'all, let me get out of here.
The African.
Okay, you get there. You're gonna get the African. Okay. The next president of Kenya is.
And with that, I just have two more words to say. Obama out.
Muzika Deniz Şeber.